turnkey.com/danproft. Use the promo code Dan and the number 20, Dan20, and that gets you 20% off your first box. Tiege.com, TIEGE.com/danproft. Use the promo code Dan20.
Is your parking lot an eyesore for you and your customers? Convenient and safe parking may be one of the most overlooked aspects of your business. You've neglected your parking lot for way too many years. It's falling apart and could be scaring business away. Pavement Solutions knows your parking lot takes a beating. With proper care, you can extend the life of your current lot with Pavement Solutions certified specialty blend called GemSeal Black Diamond and Duramax. Yeah, it's a mouthful, but it's the best seal coat product in the industry. It'll protect your lot from sub-zero temperatures to a scorching 110-degree day and features an abrasive, non-slip coat for safety and durability. With Enduramax, your lot will have that brand new feel and look at a fraction of the price of a new lot. You and your customers will be safe and your business will look great. Call Pavement Solutions at 815-675-0696. That's 815-675-0696. And learn about getting 5% off and a free estimate for your next project. 815-675-0696.
Hey, one of the most frustrating aspects of running a business is dealing with technology. It's wonderful when it works, but what about when it's not? IT, networks, computers, you just want to run your business. And that's where Turnkey IT comes in. For only $795 a month, you can eliminate the hassle of IT and computer issues with Turnkey IT. It will be like having your own in-house IT department, but better. Turnkey makes it happen. They make it secure. They make it smart. You'll be set up for success and not have to deal with all the technical issues that really can overwhelm a business. Have Turnkey do a complimentary network audit of your systems. Even if you have a current IT company, it's always good to get a second opinion. Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro. That's turnkey.pro.
Someday, someone you love will ask for help. And although Lake County Right to Life is not a crisis center, it is an educational and political organization involved in educating the public about current life issues and legislations. They take an active part in both the educational and lobbying aspects of the Right to Life movement. They formed the Lake County PAC to actively work in helping elect local Lake County candidates who are pro-life, pro-family legislators. These people support life-affirming legislation. Please help the cause. A crisis program center saves lives one at a time. Legislation saves thousands of lives. Lake County Right to Life supports women, mothers and fathers, unborn babies, families, and the elderly. Good public policy is supposed to protect the most vulnerable and does not impose on a taxpayer to pay for the lesser good, namely abortion. That takes everybody working together. For donations or information, visit lcrtl.org. That's lcrtl.org.
Hey, Chicagoland, you deserve to love where you live. So why not make it easy? Don't miss the free Home and Garden Show this weekend at the Lake County Fairgrounds with free admission and free parking. Find the ultimate in savings and convenience with thousands of the latest home products and services for the freshest ideas to remodel, repair, and beautify your home. Speak with experts in interiors and exteriors, landscaping, flooring, painting, heating and air, pools and spas, and even solar and green energy systems. And don't miss the interactive display by Verizon and the latest by Jeep, Dodge, and Chrysler. Enjoy live cooking shows, free seminars, and exciting demonstrations. And shop the huge plant sale by Gurnee Garden Center. You'll save big on quality outdoor and garden decor and find the perfect accessories to deck out your man cave. From interiors to exteriors, from decor to outdoor, you'll find it all at the Home and Garden Show this weekend at the Lake County Fairgrounds in Grays Lake with free admission and free parking. For details, visit LakeCountyHomeshow.com. That's LakeCountyHomeshow.com.
AM 560, The Answer.
Rob Thomas and Michael Cohen, Dan and Amy, and it's happened again. Northwestern University is in the news, and the value of my decree has gone down.
Again? What now?
A financial advisor testifying in a corruption trial in New York told attorneys that from 2000 to 2014, he gave cash to football players from 7 schools ranging from $100 to $3,000 per month. Notre Dame. Ooh, boy.
No.
You have to take the shine off that dome. Northwestern, Michigan, Penn State, Pittsburgh, Alabama, North Carolina. Blazers' goal, Marty Blazer, Pittsburgh area financial advisor. Blazers' goal, he said, was to become their financial advisor once they turn pro.
Oh.
Notre Dame and Northwestern both released statements suggesting they are unaware of any misconduct that Blazer alleged and that they take the NCAA rules and regulations seriously and so on and so forth. His testimony, this financial advisor, is part of a case about a scandal which involved college basketball coaches bribed to steer NBA-bound players to favorite agents and money managers.
Oh, I see.
As the U.S. attorney, assistant U.S. attorney in charge of who's the lead prosecutor, this case is about money, bribes, and college basketball, but it also extends to college football now. And I'll tell you, it's interesting, two things. One is, in the era of sports gambling being legal in all 50 states, which is coming, we'll see how much more corruption there is. There's been point-shaving scandals before, including at Northwestern 25 years ago.
Oh, yeah. And then who was it? Ron, oh, God, who dropped the football in the end zone during the Rose Bowl for Iowa? He was getting Ronnie Harmon. He got paid off to drop because bookies got to him and said, we can't have this. We don't want you to make the spread. So he was uncontested. He just dropped the ball in the end zone.
Payments range from $100 to $3,000 per month. I assume the payments for Northwestern players were the $100 a month, and the payments for the Notre Dame and Alabama players were the $3,000 per month. But we'll have to wait till we get more information on the story.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer,
we'll discuss the tragic murder of that 5-year-old boy and whether or not this is another case of DCFS dropping the ball.
But first, here's Mike Scott.
Parents charged with murder in Crystal Lake. 2 women stabbed outside a Chicago club. WIND, Chicago News Time, 6.
This is a Fox News alert. Joe is in. I'm Chris Foster. Fox News. Former Vice President Joe Biden, as expected, has now made it official and joins the Democratic Party presidential race. More from Fox's Rachel Sutherland.
Chris saying we're in a battle for the soul of this nation. Joe Biden launched his bid for the White House in an online video.
America's an idea that's stronger than any army, bigger than any ocean, more powerful than any dictator or tyrant.
The former senator and vice president's video opens with scenes from the racially charged violence in Charlottesville in 2017. The 20th Democrat to enter the race for the White House, Biden will reportedly hold a fundraiser tonight in Philadelphia and then travel to Pittsburgh on Monday before he heads to Iowa, South Carolina, Nevada, and New Hampshire. Chris?
Rachel Sutherland in Washington, thanks. The leaders of Russia and North Korea have held their first one-on-one meeting. Here's Fox's Simon Owen.
Chris, at the end of a day-long summit in Russia's Far East, Russian President Vladimir Putin saying Kim Jong-un is ready to move toward denuclearization, but will need security guarantees before that happens. Putin offering to share details from the summit with President Trump, saying there are no secrets. This meeting coming amid an apparent deadlock in US-North Korea talks about lifting international sanctions in return for Kim abandoning nuclear weapons. Chris?
Simon, 2 brothers were among the 9 suicide bombers who killed 359 people in Sri Lanka Easter Sunday.
They are understood to be the sons of a very wealthy spice trader in Sri Lanka. He's understood to be being held for questioning. ISIS has claimed responsibility for this deadly attack, and investigators are looking into that at the moment with the help of the FBI.
That's reporter Rebecca Bundan in Sri Lanka. The Florida State House passes a bill banning so-called sanctuary cities, requiring local law enforcement to cooperate with federal immigration authorities. There's a similar bill in the state Senate. This is Fox News.
Skies are clearing this morning. We have 47 degrees, 6:02 on AM 560. The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Lake County Sheriff's Office warning residents about a hazardous material spill and anhydrous ammonia spill in Beach Park this morning. It happened early in the area of Green Bay Road and 29th. Residents within a mile radius are being asked to stay inside with the windows closed. Foam trucks are on the scene and are dealing with that ammonia spill. Parents of a missing 5-year-old boy in the northwest suburbs are now charged with his death.
It is with heavy heart that the Crystal Lake Police Department reports that we've located what we believe to be the body of Andrew A.J. Friend.
Joanne Cunningham and Andrew Friend Sr. are both being charged with first-degree murder. Both are in police custody. Crystal Lake Police Chief Jim Black says there are still unanswered questions.
The cause of death is unknown at this time, and it will be determined at a later date by the McHenry County Coroner's Office.
Meantime, DCFS is also investigating their handling of the Andrew Friend case. After the 5-year-old was found dead, DCFS has had involvement with A.J. Friend and his family off and on since he was born with opiates in his system in 2013. In other stories this morning, 3 men facing charges after shots were fired at police during a chase this past weekend in North Chicago. All 3 are charged with attempted murder of a peace officer. Chicago police and the DEA investigating a series of drug overdoses that left 4 dead. At least 17 overdoses in all were reported on the west and northwest sides after a mixture of heroin and fentanyl was distributed on Tuesday. Cubs hold on to beat the Dodgers 7-6 at Wrigley. Orioles over the White Sox 4-3 in Baltimore. Fire fall to New York City FC at Yankee Stadium 1-0. The news service of Wyndham Hotels and Resorts. With more than 6,000 hotels across the country, including La Quinta, Days Inn, and Super 8, a great hotel by Wyndham is closer than you think. Find one near you and book direct at wyndhamhotels.com. 6:04 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Do you own or run a thriving business in the Chicagoland area? Have you overcome obstacles to make your business what it is today? If that's your business, then AM 560 wants to tell your story on the AM 560 Business Tour, presented by Signature Bank. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses all around Chicagoland, telling success stories of thriving, successful businesses. Hey, if that's you, tell us about it. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
Spring has sprung, and there's never been a better time to give your bedroom the makeover it so badly needs. Make your bed more comfortable and save some money in the process during the Boll & Branch Think Spring Sale. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch, makers of the world-famous ultra-soft sheets that are loved by 3 U.S. presidents and millions of Americans. You know our prices are always great, but right now, everything at BollandBranch.com is 20% off. I'll say it again, 20% off. That means our award-winning sheets start at just $160, and shipping is free. These are $1,000 sheets for less than a couple $100. And you can save on our towels, blankets, pillows, even our award-winning mattress. Don't miss this sale. We don't have them often. And remember, Mother's Day is just around the corner. The Think Spring Sale is ending soon, so get 20% off everything before it ends at BollandBranch.com. That's BOLL and branch.com. BollandBranch.com.
Hey guys, Ken here from Income Store. Did you know of the top 10 reasons an employee stays at a company for more than 2 years? The 7th reason is the pay or the salary. The first 6 reasons have nothing to do with money. Things like they feel part of a team, they know they belong, their voice is heard, they're respected. Also, employees go through 5 phases within a couple days to 6 months of any new position. Excitement, education, reality, doubt, then clarity. Did you know it's a manager's job to walk them to clarity as fast as possible? If you need to know these fundamental principles, did I just say that? I'm going to leave that in. If you need to know these fundamental principles, I can't say this. This is awesome. This is like a blooper roll. Hey, you know what? If you need tips and techniques like this to grow your business today, you got to check out door number 1 of Income Store. If you just need somebody to literally hold your hand and get you to the finish line, check out door number 2 of IncomeStore.com. That's IncomeStore.com.
Family reunion in Paris? Turns out to be in Paris, Texas? No worries. You know you can stay at Hampton by Hilton with more than 2,400 locations and free hot breakfast. Book now at Hampton.com.
It is 6:07. Let's get an update on the ride to work this morning in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
In Beach Park, Green Bay Road is closed between Wadsworth Road and 173 after a collision involving a car and an ammonia tanker. At Green Bay Road and 29th Street, there is an ammonia spill. All residents within a mile are asked to stay indoors. Kennedy inbound, traffic's heavy Canfield to Nagel. 23 minutes O'Hare to downtown, up on 22. Inbound Eisenhower, 34 minutes from 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 44 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. The Ryan is 25 minutes, already 95 to downtown. Tri-State Tollway, southbound there's a jam, 95th to Southwest Highway. Crash has 2 right lanes blocked. It's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
At 6:07, it's time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal, 800-421-SEAL. Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Here's our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Times of sun and clouds today, high 70. Some evening showers tonight, then clearing, low 49. Sunny and breezy tomorrow, the high 64. Rain from late morning on Saturday, a breezy day, high 49. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
So far, clear skies, 47 degrees at O'Hare. Next news at 6:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour Radio Show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. So the terrible news that we got right at the end of our show yesterday that police had located a body. They were in the process of identifying it when we left, identifying the body when we left the air. But of course, as everybody now knows, it is the body of 5-year-old AJ Friend, who went missing in Crystal Lake and was found yesterday in a field near Woodstock.
Yeah, his body was wrapped in plastic and in a shallow grave. And police suspected all along, there was never an Amber Alert issued. They never said the boy was kidnapped. They said, the boy was last seen at the home. That's what the parents alleged. But it was heartbreaking for everyone who has spent the last week endless hours searching for him, combing through fields, looking all over the area. And the Crystal Lake Police Department had a heavy heart.
To AJ, we know you're at peace playing in heaven's playground. To AJ's family, it is my hope that you may have some solace in knowing that AJ is no longer suffering and his killers have been brought to justice.
His killers being part of the family.
Yeah, the mom and the dad, Joanne Cunningham, who, by the way, is 7 months pregnant. She charged with murder along with AJ's father, Andrew Sr., also charged with murder. And it's just sickening because DCFS and Crystal Lake Police, DCFS has had numerous run-ins with the family.
DCFS was with AJ in some form or fashion from his first days on this planet. AJ was born with opiates in his system. DCFS has had contact with the family since then, since he was born, 5 years. Most recently in December. Police reports depict a home unsafe for small children, filthy with dog feces and in poor repair, with hazards like exposed and jagged subflooring and broken windows letting in winter air. AJ's 3-year-old brother was placed in DCFS care after AJ was reported missing.
Good.
DCFS, which has had more than 6 heads, or has had 6 heads since 2015, is now under scrutiny. This is an old story with DCFS.
Yeah, here we go again. DCFS is a joke, and they have blood on their hands for this kid being killed because he spent the first 2 years when he was born with opioids in his system. He spent the two first years in foster care. The family fought to get him back. They got him back, and then she had another baby, and then they still came to visit. Crystal Lake Police have been to that house 17 times in the past 5 years for different reasons. And still, that child was left with those barbaric monsters who killed their son. We don't know the motive yet, why. But still, it was very methodical, very planned out. Listen to the dad. This is the 911 call that he made. And he just doesn't seem to care. It's just another walk in the park. Oh, my son's missing.
Last night, probably 9:30, when he went to bed.
Yeah, that's the last time we saw him. There was no panic, no... I listened to the whole 911 tape. It was 8 minutes long, and he was just like, yeah, well, this is what he was wearing. Yeah, we don't know where he is. We looked at the local park. We went, talked to see if he was at, around the schoolyard. That was it. There's no sense of urgency.
In 2013, the mom was involved in a legal dispute with her mother for custody of her eldest son. An order of protection petition that was filed by AJ's grandmother during the proceedings accusing his mother of forcing their eldest son to live in constant fear, hunger, and filth, as well as denying him medical care, food, clean clothing, and a healthy living environment. So they were with AJ for 5 years, since from the day he was born, with opiates in his system. You have grandmother intervening in a court of law to remove the eldest son from the care of Cunningham and friend, the dad, and describing the living conditions as I just provided. And what is DCFS doing this entire time? See, the thing about a kleptocracy, a political ruling class, as I've said before, but this really is the most poignant example you can provide. It's not just the corruption. That's not the cost. It's not a financial cost solely, or even most importantly. It's that government doesn't provide the services you think you're financing. It doesn't serve the people that you think your money is going to serve, because it's a spoils of war for the insiders system. And that turns out to have tragic consequences. It's one of the reasons, as I often note, we are one of the worst states in the country in providing services to the developmentally disabled. It's one of the reasons why, Republican governor, Democrat governor, DCFS has been a long-running catastrophe, failing time and time again to protect children, to remove children from homes they know, just through common sense and the most cursory of examinations, should not be in a particular home. 5 years, and everything that transpired during those 5 years from day one, and DCFS couldn't figure it out, couldn't piece this case together. 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. This is the cost of the worst, of being a resident of the worst run state in American history.
We can't even protect our children. I mean, it's so obvious. If you and I walked in that home, Dan, we would have been mortified, and we probably would have grabbed the children ourselves and taken them to a police station and demand justice and safety and food. I mean, I knew that they killed him when I saw the pictures that they gave the news media. That child didn't look loved. He looked gaunt. He looked skinny, malnourished. And you're telling me that you don't have a better picture than that to give out of your son? There was no love. There was no caring. And the parents are well-known drug users. I mean, the dad is, he's
another point.
Well, he's an attorney. He's 60 years old. She's 36. He met her because he was representing her during her divorce, and they ended up living together, and they ended up stealing together because they were ordered not to go into her house. They stole televisions, Blu-ray player, silverware. So he got his law license suspended, and he worked for a well-known law firm, and people in the county knew who he was, and they said they tried mightily, quote, to help him with his cocaine habit, and they paid for him to go to rehab twice. Quote, everyone who knows him really thought he was a nice guy, although they described the family as dysfunctional.
It's generous. 7 years ago, the Chicago Tribune did an investigative series on DCFS. Christy Gutowski. 7 years ago. I'll give you an example. And they told stories, which is what they should do. Told stories that have a point, which they rarely do these days. 5 months after a Southside father was accused of beating and choking his girlfriend while she held their son, the baby was found dead, floating face up near his 2-year-old brother in a bathtub. Authorities investigate, this is 2012, as authorities investigate the drowning death of Jay Sean Strong, a Tribune review of confidential case records raises questions about whether state and contractual child welfare workers did enough to ensure the boy's safety. DCFS had monitored the family for several months after a hotline call reporting violence in the couple's relationship. The young mother was warned that the state could take custody of her children if she and the father continued to resist services. Dr. Joe Glick, who established the Child Protective Services team at the University of Chicago's Children's Hospital, this is egregious, she said, of this case of Jay Sean Strong 7 years ago. Domestic violence is a huge red flag. Family violence is progressive, and while maybe the first incident was minor, although I don't think beating and choking your girlfriend while she's holding her son is minor, it is a signal for abuse and risk that death could have been prevented. I can go on and read 10 more accounts just from this investigative series the Tribune did 7 years ago. And how have things changed in 7 years? Republican governor, Democrat governor, Republican legislators, Democrat state legislators, the people that we all put in office. How's it changed?
Nothing has changed, and more kids are going to continue to die. I mean, this was a drug-fueled couple that had no business having children, but then you think our tax dollars go to DCFS to have an agency in place that would see that these people should not be parents. And to see that this kid should be removed, probably placed with his grandmother, who seemed to really love and care for the child.
The good news is, though, I got some good news for you.
What?
The political class raised the smoking age to 21 to protect the kids. I got some good news for you. You can go back and change your gender identification on your birth certificate now in Illinois. I got some good news for you. Where marijuana legalization is coming. Sports betting is coming. Tax increases are coming. Some good news. We're on it.
One more thing I want to say about the parents. I mean, the acting job that they did, please. They cried with the people of Crystal Lake at the vigil for their son. They talked to reporters. She was on Good Morning America.
I just want my kids. That's my life. They're my kids.
Yeah, right. I want to rip her eyeballs out. And she's pregnant.
There are bad people in this world, and there are good people who do bad things. That's all of us. The question is the accountability mechanisms. I mean, it's one thing to get scammed over write a blank check to the local school district because, because I got to be pro-teacher or something like this. Sort of the marginal scam, buying into the eduocracy. It's another thing to get scammed when it comes to services that are of a life and death nature. Police, child welfare, services to people who need services through no fault of their own, like the developmentally and intellectually disabled. This is what I mean when I talk about Illinois being a barbaric state. Mm-hmm. Barbaric. Put all of the money aside, all of the tax burdens aside, all of the absurd spending decisions aside. We are an unreasonable state. And once you give in to unreason, you're ready for unkindness. And boy, howdy, aren't we? Tony on the south side.
Good morning, Dan and Amy, my lab. Listen, this is a more measured and somber Tony. I want to say I agree with you, Dan. Politics plays into this. Laws, of course, play into this. But moreover, it's the morality of society. It's decaying, right? I mean, when you look at the police officers' hands were tied because of laws. They couldn't go in the house to do anything about that kid. DCFS, that's a whole other story. That's because of the people we vote in. However, wouldn't it be great if we lived in a world that places value on life more than it does on animals? For example, the story about the dog the other day. Outcry from Facebook and the media about finding this person who threw those dogs in a dumpster and bring them to justice. Wouldn't it be nice if we had that for humans, particularly children or small babies? As, for example, Planned Parenthood leaving a small child in a surgical tray to die. That's all I'm going to say. Right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Thanks, Tony. Candace in Mount Pleasant, Wisconsin.
Hi. This story is so upsetting because I don't understand what happened. Now, I know there's a judge in our state that adopted an opiate child, but I think that they were friends with the parent before the baby was born and was there when the baby was born. They had some kind of agreement. But I don't understand, Dan and Amy, why we don't make a law based on this horrible event that if you are, if your baby is just like with crack babies, if your baby is born with opiates, guess what? You don't get to take it home. It immediately goes into, state care and then it's adopted out immediately because only 13% of all people on opiates and heroin ever get better again. It's not very good odds. It's not fair odds for the kids, okay?
Thanks, Candace.
Before you see it on TV, share it on Facebook, or read about it in the paper. Hear it here first. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Sometimes when it rains, it pours right into your basement. This is Gus from Chicagoland Waterproofing. My mission is to identify why your home is taking on water and fix it. I want you to sleep at night during a rainstorm and not worry about your basement filling up with water, like our client from Mount Prospect.
We decided to refinish our basement and wanted to put in new flooring, but we've always had a seepage problem. I heard Chicagoland Waterproofing on the radio and had to call. Gus came to our home and identified the problem immediately, explained a solution which involved 60 feet of interior trenching along the foundation. His guys were on time, professional, and cleaned up when they were done. Our refinished basement is 100% dry. Dry as a bone. Great experience. In Gus, we trust.
From simple sump pumps to complex storm drainage and crack foundation solutions, Chicagoland Waterproofing's work comes with a lifetime warranty. Plus, a fully licensed plumber is always on staff. Request your estimate today at ChicagolandWaterproofingPros.com or call 847-296-3500.
With summer fast approaching, now's the time to fill your son's schedule with athletics, STEM, and academic enrichment camps at Northridge Prep summer programs for boys in grades 4 through 8. For the week of June 17th through the 21st, drop your son off at 9, pick him up at 3 for a full day of fun. In the morning, a choice between basketball skill builder and wrestling technique and strength. In the afternoon, battles of the Civil War or robotics, introduction to mechanical design. That's a full week of sports and experiential learning to keep your son developing his interests and skills this summer. Here's what Chicago Bulls GM Gar Forman had to say about Northridge Prep's basketball skill builder camp. Quote, when it comes to teaching offensive skill development in youth basketball, Coach Ray provides as complete and detailed an approach as I've seen. That's Coach Will Ray, former Loyola basketball head coach, who is the athletic director at Northridge Prep. Seats are limited for all camps, and some, like the Dangerous Camp for Boys, already 100% filled up. So learn more and register online at northridgeprep.org/summer. That's northridgeprep.org/summer.
Did you miss the open enrollment this year? I can help you purchase a PPO health insurance plan at any time that eliminates the mandatory maternity coverage. This is Tom Marabali, your health insurance advocate and independent producer for Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and other carriers. If you're over 50 and are covered by the Affordable Care Act, you're paying for maternity coverage every month whether you want it or not. In Chicago, the least expensive PPO health insurance plan under the ACA will cost $572 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $7,900 before your bills are paid at 100%. I can show you how to eliminate the mandatory maternity coverage and lower your monthly premium to $278 per month with a total out-of-pocket cost of $2,500 before your bills are paid at 100%. That's a savings of $294 a month and over $5,000 with my lower deductible. For a free quote and to see if you qualify, call me, Tom Marabali, at 630-863-3477. That's 630-863-3477.
Oh, it's almost 6:30. That's time for me to take my Balance of Nature. It's 10 different servings of 31 fruits and veggies, all in a single capsule. No dyes, no preservatives. And it's given me some energy and less joint pain, I've noticed in the past month that I've been taking it. And you can have your Balance of Nature, too, simply by going to balanceofnature.com, promo code Chicago. You can lock in your price for fruits and vegetables today and get free shipping on every order. If you lock in now, you won't pay more when the cost of produce starts to rise later this year. So call today, 800-246-8751. Speak with a health coach, 800-246-8751. They'll answer any questions you have. Or simply go to balanceofnature.com, balanceofnature.com, promo code Chicago.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy are talking about the A.J. Friend murder and the failure yet again of DCFS to provide protective services to children. You know, the basis of the agency's existence. Andy in Yorkville, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hi, Dan and Amy. Good morning. As a parent of an adopted child from Russia, the hoops that I had to jump through the state and DCFS of home inspection, financial records, insurance, They came out and inspected my home. It took me and my wife 2 years. And, you know, some of these people out there have to be screened, or, you know, they can just lay on their back and have a kid, and the crap that I had to go through. And if I screwed up one piece of information, I would have been denied. It's just the state is so screwed up, and I don't understand some of these people. I mean, everybody's afraid to get involved. You know, it's not right. I don't know. I'm just speechless.
Understand your frustration. Thanks for the call, Andy. Appreciate it. Robin in Bardstown, Kentucky.
Hey, Dan and Amy. I listen to you every day. I just heard what you said about them allowing to change your birth certificate by your gender. I have been trying since I arrived here to change my first name is different on my birth certificate, but on everything else, including my Social Security, it goes from Roberta to Robin is what I go by. You cannot imagine what the state of Illinois is having me send in. They want records, not my diploma from high school or anything. They want medical records from before I was 18. I'm over 60. I'm sorry, I didn't keep that stuff. And we keep sending back and forth and back and forth. Kentucky has said, yes, you can change your name. I think it's my first name. For goodness sakes, I've paid taxes and Social Security into this name. Anyways, I just had to share that. Such a horrible story about that little boy and the failure. But Illinois is just brutal. There's no common sense. Of course, you know all that. But anyways, that's my frustration.
Thank you, Robin / Roberta. And you know what?
Thanks for listening all the way from Kentucky.
Yeah, Bardstown. Yeah, and you know what it takes to change your gender on your birth certificate? Your gender. Yeah,
5
just
minutes.
get some. Well, you just get some.
Judge, right?
You get some politicized quack to say that this woman feels like a man, and they sign a letter, and then you get your gender changed on your birth certificate. That simple. Politics first. John in Peatone.
Hi there. Before we get the bleeding hearts people involved in beating up DCFS, you had better understand this starts with the parents.
No kidding.
Well, yeah.
I dealt with DCFS on more than one occasion. There is no place to put these children.
Right.
Don't beat up on DCFS too
No,
much. And
come
I'm
on.
not
There's-
a fan of DCFS. No, don't. Come on.
No, there's
that is
foster
the
parents out
reality
there,
of
and
the
there's family
situation.
members that should have taken and kept that child.
Well,
considering AG's grandmother should have had custody of him.
That is a minor part of the problem, even though I feel badly. I have children myself.
Mm-hmm.
I feel badly for that child that was killed. But before you beat up on them too much, you got to understand that these people, DCFS, are embattled 24/7. At some point, you start to lose your objectivity on what your job is, because there are so many cruel people in the world, namely the parents, raised by others who didn't care about life either. Yes, do I agree that DCFS is a problem? Yes. However, walk a mile in my shoes, walk a mile in my moccasins, spend some time with DCFS before you start beating up on them constantly. And I'm on your side, believe it or not. So stop beating up on DCFS 100%. Yeah.
It's not
in that
100%.
case, the Grand
It's not 100%.
Well,
No, it's not 100%. It's not, John.
I'm listening to your show every day.
But listen.
And that's what I'm hearing this morning.
Listen to what I said. I started with
Go
the
ahead.
political ruling class: Republican governors, Democrat governors, legislators. Doesn't matter. And so this is the price of a kleptocracy. DCFS is a dysfunctional agency and has been for a long time. Are they the sole repository of blame here? No, because one of the things you don't have enough good social service providers, because they don't get paid by the state for services provided in a timely fashion, so they can't keep their doors open. Talk to Aunt Martha's about trying to keep their doors open and provide some safe haven for children who have been removed from homes, for example. That's number one. Number two is we don't place any emphasis on the infrastructure needed for a way station for kids in abusive homes before they can be placed in a safe place with a loving family. For the same reason, because you have a political ruling class that is interested in slot machines and sports betting and legalizing dope and not interested in its core responsibility of providing physical security for its constituents. It's in Chicago and it's in Springfield, which is why Chicago is the worst governed city in America and Illinois is the worst governed state in American history, as I say ad nauseum. So I'm not laying all the blame at their doorstep, but they're certainly part and parcel of the problem. It's a system problem. It's in part a personnel problem, but it's a system problem. And every system in Illinois is a Ponzi scheme, is a fraud. And the cost of it is the death of 5-year-olds like AJ Friend. And I appreciate your call, and I appreciate your point as well. Thanks for the call, John.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Speaking of dysfunctional politicians, a storm is coming JB's way over toilets.
And now there are 20. It's Joe Biden Day. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott. I can't wait to hear that story.
47 degrees. Right now, blue skies. But in Lake County this morning, Lake County Sheriff's and Chris Cavelli's office warning residents about a hazardous materials spill in Beach Park. The incident happened early this morning when a tractor was towing anhydrous ammonia, agricultural anhydrous ammonia, was struck by a vehicle near Green Bay Road and 29th. All residents within 1 mile have been asked to stay inside, windows closed. There are injuries. Parents of a missing 5-year-old boy in a northwest Chicago suburb are being charged with his death. Joanne Cunningham and Andrew Friend Sr. are being charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery, domestic battery, and failure to report a missing or child death. Crystal Lake Police Chief Jim Black says there are many unanswered questions about the case.
The cause of death is unknown at this time, and it will be determined at a later date by the McHenry County Coroner's Office.
Last night, community members gathered in Woodstock and Crystal Lake to remember the 5-year-old boy, AJ Friend. Joe Biden officially running for president.
If we give Donald Trump 8 years in the White House, he will forever and fundamentally alter the character of this nation, who we are. And I cannot stand by and watch that happen.
Former vice president made his long-delayed announcement this morning on Twitter and released a campaign video. Facebook says it's being hit with a fine of up to $5 billion with a B dollars by the FTC. Social media platform saying it's setting aside at least $3 billion in anticipation of a record-breaking settlement over privacy violations. Chicago Symphony Orchestra strike into week 7, and the mayor's office is now offering to try and broker a deal. Cubs hold on to beat the Dodgers 7-6 at Wrigley Field. Orioles over the White Sox 4-3 in Baltimore. The news a service of Accountemps. When you could use help closing your books and need additional staff, it's time to call Accountemps. They can provide you with bookkeepers and other accounting and finance pros on a temporary or a project basis. And fast. Call today. Accountemps, a Robert Half company. 6:36, and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Dennis Prager explains his opposition to mass immigration.
The answer is they bring un-American values. They're not bad people. The biggest one of the un-American values is they bring belief in big government. That's it. And big government will destroy the American story, the American dream, the American ideal, the American hope.
The Dennis Prager Show. Weekdays at 11, right before Sean Hannity at 2 on AM 560. The Answer.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Chuck Spaveri, CEO of Spaveri's Custom Counters, a Chicagoland manufacturer of residential and commercial countertops. If there's a local commercial bank who knows how to get a deal done, it's Signature Bank. When my brother and I needed it, Signature Bank came through with a creative financing solution. That's because Signature Bank has experience working with companies like ours, a second-generation, family-owned and operated manufacturer. Our business matters to Signature Bank, and that comes through in every visit and every phone call with their team, right up to the bank's co-founders, Kevin, Mick, and Brian. Spaveri's is proud to bank with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America, one life at a time.
I've got arthritis,
but I take it every day. I've taken it, and my health has improved. So, of course, I love it. My energy level got raised, less pain in my body. So I think it's helped me tremendously. I've talked with a lot of people about the fruits and veggies. They say, well, how come you're feeling so good? And I tell them, call 800-2468-751. See for yourself.
As you know, the price of produce is always on the rise. Have the confidence to know you're getting the best possible price for organically grown whole fruits and vegetables with Balance of Nature. Call now to see how you can lock in your price of fruits and vegetables and get free shipping on every order. Call 800-2468-751 or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 6:38. Let's get an update on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center. Here's Jim Talamonte.
An active hazmat situation in Beach Park has Green Bay Road closed between 173 and Wadsworth Road, and Wadsworth Road shut down between Delaney and Green Bay Road at Beach Park and Wadsworth. Where a car hit a tractor towing ammonia tanks. Green Bay Road and 29th, residents within a mile and a half are asked to stay inside. Southbound Tri-State, it's a Mass 95th to Southwest Highway. Crash, car fire, 2 right lanes blocked. Northbound delay started 115th and Ridgeland. Reagan Tollway, stop and go 83 to the Tri-State. Kennedy, 28 minutes O'Hare to downtown. Yike, 40 minutes, 390 to the Burn Circle. Stevenson, 45 minutes, 355 to the Drive. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next, and your official Chicagoland weather forecast. From the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center, sun and clouds today, high of 70. Showers hit this evening, low 49. And did I see Saturday night into Sunday the word snow creep into the forecast? Maybe. 47 at O'Hare, 46 along the lakefront. Your next news update is at 7. Then Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Money Hour radio show, Saturday afternoons at 3 on AM 560, The Answer. Brought to you by Pearshell Financial Group.
Only the biggest stories, only the biggest guests, and only the biggest opinions. This is AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. Kristen McQuarrie, our friend from the Chicago Tribune editorial board, tweeted yesterday, pretty awkward position for a governor pushing a quote-unquote fair income tax to be under federal investigation for evading his own mansion's property taxes, which spread the overall tax burden to low-income Cook County households. That's awkward, but it's not as awkward as the position that Governor Spalding must take to get his arse on a conventional toilet seat. I assume that's why they were removed. He needs industrial strength.
Right. Well, bigger people do order bigger toilets. That's available, just so you know.
It's good to know.
I'll
pass the word.
Whenever you become morbidly obese, there are options for you. Okay.
WBEZ, Dave McKinney reporting, Pritzker, his wife, and his brother-in-law are under federal criminal investigation for this residential property tax appeal that, of course, somewhat dogged him during the gubernatorial race. Certainly was an issue that was raised.
It's the best campaign commercials ever.
Didn't get much traction.
Oh, I love that when they were taking the toilets out of the house, and I don't know.
$331,000 property tax break by making the home uninhabitable, and now that's the source of federal investigation. Spalding was asked about that at a press conference yesterday where he was talking about dope or slot machines or smoking or some such thing, and he had this to say.
Well, let me be clear that I'm very confident that any review of this matter will show that all the rules were followed. I have not been contacted by any law enforcement, neither has MK. And I will say that last October, my opponents raised this issue, and it became a political subject last October. But today, we're very focused on the important work that needs to get done in Springfield.
Oh, of course.
That's what we're doing. You know, we have
Focus.
many bills that are focused on lifting up working families.
Yeah.
That's the focus of all of our efforts, and that's what I'm going to stay laser focused on.
Laser. I mean, he cheated the system and he got caught.
Say focused one
But
more
stay
time.
focused. And stop. And her name. He keeps saying MK. Just say my wife, please. So annoying. Sorry.
Lady, how about Lady Pritzker?
There you go.
From House of Pritzker. In terms of the issue being raised and Spalding being cleared, not exactly. Cook County Inspector General's report said that it was a scheme to defraud taxpayers.
Yeah.
So that's not exactly the language of exoneration.
No, it's not, Dan. No. Not even close.
Interestingly, too, some of Pritzker's aides, his hands, help him tie his shoes, help him with residential property tax appeals, are lawyering up. Yeah, how about that? First Lady, Lady Pritzker, House of Pritzker, her personal assistant who was involved in the property tax appeal, Christine Lovely.
Yeah.
This is just Dickensian. Being represented by Reed Shar, who is a pretty high-powered criminal defense attorney, former federal prosecutor who helped convict your buddy Rod Blagojevich. Lawyering up? Well, why would there be lawyering up if there's not anything that... No comment from John Lausch, of course, U.S. Attorney for the Northern District of Illinois. So, what do you think? You care? I mean, even if something were to happen to Pritzker, which I'm skeptical of, like being indicted for tax fraud, property tax fraud. I mean, that technically, for some people, property tax fraud is a crime.
It is.
Yeah.
And you can serve time in prison for it.
I mean, it is
he's
tax fraud.
He's a fraud. He is a liar. This whole nice guy, friendly, is bull jive. Because I have a friend who is a proctologist, and Pritzker took...
No, don't tell me about Pritzker's
Pritzker, they're at Northwestern
exam.
Memorial Hospital, and Pritzker's assistant came up and said, the governor's ready now. He can't, because he couldn't be like the people and sit in the waiting room where there was only 2 other people in the waiting room. It wasn't a crowded waiting room. And they took him up the freight elevator to go to his proctology.
Is that a metaphor?
No, there was actually a freight elevator at Northwestern Memorial Hospital that took, so that the public wouldn't see him doing normal, everyday things like going to the doctor.
Why do you have to embarrass him? They use the freight elevator because a conventional elevator can't hold that kind of weight. Oh, am I? By the way, for all of you sissies out there, am I fat shaming? Is that wrong? Pound sand. Everybody gets made fun of. Everybody in this world.
I get made fun of.
And politicians are at the top of the list. I will make fun of that fat tub of goo, that Mayor Quimby impersonator, as much as I want. And if you don't like it, then don't listen. I'm so sick of the minders, the language minders. So powerful are they? So weak are right-thinking people is that they genuflect before them. Not here, folks. So if you don't like it, go find another throne, as Pritzker is.
I hope he goes to jail. I really do. I mean, Chicago's a magnet for corruption and political scandals, and what he did was tax fraud. Substantial tax break that he got, $331,000.
You know what he needs?
What does he need?
He needs
besides a proctology exam.
That will take a team. That's almost like you almost have to do like a Rick Moranis, Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and send somebody in like a little makeshift
like a
spacecraft into that area. That's like what he could use though is a counseling session with Tom Arnold.
Oh, right. Yeah, Tom Arnold. Yeah.
It's lonely at the top. Ralph and Rantoul, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning, Dan. Hey, and by the way, I don't think you need that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids technology. I think you can drive Amy's minivan up there.
Life size?
So here's,
yeah, right.
Yeah. So here, just keep those windshield wipers going.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is this. So he defrauded taxpayers, but he cut the check after he found out he got busted.
Right.
And Rauner shamed him on the commercials.
Right.
I'm not a lawyer, So explain it to me. If I broke in and I stole Amy's minivan, and she said, wait a minute, Ralph stole my minivan, the dirty dog, and then I brought it back, could I still be prosecuted for auto theft? Or would she forgive me because I brought her minivan
Ask
back?
Proco Joe.
Thanks for the call, Ralph. So here's how it works. The brother-in-law will be the one that takes the hit, right?
Of course.
Munster is his name. Not M-U-E-N.
Okay.
Not like the Munsters.
Okay.
According to the IG's report, and Lovely, Lady Pritzker's personal assistant, made false representation on tax appeal affidavits when they declared the home had been without functioning bathrooms for years before the 2015 toilet removals. That was $132,000 in property tax refunds in 12, 13, and 14, combined with future tax relief as a result of the lowered assessed value that Pritzker's gained more than $331,000 from the county. That's how you come to that number. Again, characterized as a scheme to defraud, but going to Ralph from Rantoul's point, after the Sun-Times published a story in October of last year, the brother, Munster, but brother-in-law, JB's brother-in-law, Lady Pritzker's brother, cut 5 checks totaling the $331,000 on the Pritzker's behalf and sent them to County Treasurer Maria Pappas's office. In a letter to the treasurer, Munster insisted the refunds to the county were in no way an admission of any wrongdoing.
Oh, okay.
Well, there you have it.
All's better.
Look, I want you to have this money that we stole from you. This is not to be construed as an admission of wrongdoing. Okay, well, then that's case closed. Yeah.
What idiots. They can't even, rob the taxpayers right.
Well, but Spalding isn't going to take the hit.
No,
unless
the brother-in-law will.
unless the brother-in-law rolls on him if it gets that far.
Wouldn't that be spectacular?
Right, because the brother-in-law is the one who wrote the check and attached the letter.
Oh, and wouldn't JB cry like a baby if he was put in jail?
And filled out the affidavits. Right, that's why Lady Pritzker's personal assistant is lawyering up, and so they use their aides to camp as human shields. You know what I think of when I think of Spalding going to prison?
You go to your happy place? No.
Fresh fish in Shawshank. Remember Dufresne's first night, and Hadley pulls the fat boy out of the cell and beats him to death? I mean, I don't want any violence to happen to JB, but I just think of fresh fish. And,
I just got the chills.
And JB crying, like who's the first one to break, him crying in his cell and saying, I don't belong here, I want my mommy.
Spalding!
Art in McHenry.
Pritzker can open a new business, a porta potty business, and call it Pritzker's Potties.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Art.
Like the John, yeah. That's
Sure.
good. Pritzker's Potties.
Yeah.
Now I have to go to the bathroom.
I certainly hope Spalding doesn't flush his career down that toilet. Steve on 94.
Yeah, so I was thinking, because this sounds more like he may be a superstar, and he might get away like Hillary Clinton has gotten away with everything. But at the same time, they probably will protect him because that would mean the marijuana thing may go down, the gaming casinos, and all of the deals that he made with everybody else. They're going to all protect him. So I think we're good to say that this governor's not going anywhere.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, Steve.
I don't think he's going to get preferential treatment.
From who? Kwame Raoul? From Kim Fox? Oh, no, of course, the feds. That's the only hope.
Right, that's the only hope.
We don't have a justice system at the county or state level.
No.
So when it comes to holding any corrupt politician accountable for their corrupt activities, illegal activities, you have to rely on the feds. And the feds work in mysterious ways. And sometimes when it comes to political corruption, they don't seem to be working at all. I mean, with due respect, I'll give them the summer, but where's the Ed Burke matter? Where are the other aldermen who've been implicated in the press for wrongdoing? Where are they? I mean, I know wide-ranging investigations, and these take time, and the feds have to button everything up. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, this Trump appointee for U.S. Attorney, Lausch, has done more than was done previously during the Obama years. That's for sure. But we'll see. Nobody gets a pass. Nobody deserves one. Nobody's beyond reproach. Mike on the north side.
Hi, good morning. Thanks for taking my call. I don't think B.J. Pritzker is going to be able to wipe this one away or, like you said, Dan, flush it down the toilet. I like to call him Governor Depends Underpants because that's going to be his defense. Or you could call him Quinn with no common sense. But don't blame him. Blame the morons that voted for him. The people that put him in power, they knew about this. It was in the papers. I said 14 months ago, forget about this guy. Forget about Rauner. Take a Republican ballot and vote for Jeannie Ives.
That's right.
And I said 6 months ago, don't trust B.J. Pritzker. You're never going to get a happy ending from this B.J.
Hey.
He's Mike working blue. No, but he's right. So Republican runner primary voters, this is your governor. He's absolutely right about that. Pritzker was elected by runner primary voters and then the general electorate majority Democrat voters. That's how he's here. So enjoy it. At least it seems like we'll get some entertainment out of it while the kleptocracy continues.
It's like a hot, steaming cup of information to start your day. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
I'm Lou Dobbs. President Trump renewing his threat to close the Mexican border. The grounding of 737 jetliners has now cost Boeing $1 billion. And the movie Avengers Endgame looking at $1 billion for its opening weekend. Those stories next.
Come on, kids. We're late.
Honey, the car won't start.
Mom, the dog just sat on my science project.
Life can be stressful, but getting life insurance shouldn't be. That's why there's Ethos. Ethos is a modern kind of life insurance that's super fast, incredibly affordable, and very uncomplicated. At GetEthos.com, there are no medical exams for policies covering under $1 million, no hours of paperwork or meetings with pushy representatives. It only takes 10 minutes to apply, and you can rest assured knowing you've taken steps to protect your family. And in most cases, with Ethos, you can have that peace of mind for less than a cup of coffee a day with no hidden fees. Having life insurance can free you from stress. Getting life insurance shouldn't cause it. Discover how uncomplicated life insurance can be at Ethos. Get your free instant quote and submit your complete application in minutes. Just go to GetEthos.com. That's ETHOS. GetEthos.com. GetEthos.com.
Following an incident this week in which Mexican military detained U.S. soldiers at gunpoint, now there's another caravan of illegal immigrants headed north toward the United States. President Trump is threatening to close part of the border if Mexico fails to stop them. And the president says he's sending armed soldiers to the border to help the 5,000 National Guard troops already there. Boeing put a price tag on the cost of the grounding of its 737 MAX jetliners. Boeing says it's lost at least $1 billion because of the grounding. Superhero film Avengers Endgame has a big opening tonight. It is poised to smash all box office records. Marvel Studios predicts as much as $1 billion in ticket sales worldwide by Monday. Please join me for Lou Dobbs tonight, 7 o'clock and 10 Eastern on the Fox Business Network. This is the Lou Dobbs Financial Report.
Looking to secure financing on a new home? Then you need to call Team Hochberg. Today, meet Zach and Jimmy. Happily married and tired of renting, so they called Team Hochberg to secure a loan approval before meeting with a realtor. Unfortunately, Zach and Jimmy were severely credit challenged, which prohibited them from purchasing at this time. Team Hochberg introduced them to credit enhancement expert Gary Novell, who, for only $600, will enhance the couple's credit so they can purchase a condo in the near future. The best news is Team Hochberg will issue Zach and Jimmy a $600 closing credit when Team Hochberg originates their loan to reimburse them Gary's fee. Now, if you'd like to work with a team of local and trusted mortgage professionals who always look out for your financial best interests, call Team Hochberg now, 855-56-DAVID, or visit 56david.com. Team Hochberg helped me and thousands of AM 560 listeners, but guess what? They can't help you if you don't call. 855-56-DAVID. That's 855-56-DAVID, or visit 56david.com. Homeside Financial, Equal Housing Lender, Illinois Residential Mortgage Licensee, MB 6761019, NMLS 1124061.
Ace is the place with the helpful hardware, folks.
It's the Ace Buy One Get One Free sale now through Monday only. Don't miss out on all our great deals throughout the store. Save on top brands like Scott's and Ortho. Plus get deals on other products you'll need this spring like birdseed, spray paint, light bulbs, and more. With so many great Buy One Get One Free deals, you can't afford to miss it. So hurry in. The Ace Buy One Get One Free sale ends Monday. Offers valid at participating stores. Buy select item and get designated item free. See store for details.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. That's why 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free by going to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Introducing the perfect getaway, nestled in the prairie, a place you can go to unload the stress of the day and recharge your inner peace. A place that fills your senses with fresh air and the sweet sounds of your Second Amendment rights being exercised. It's where you go to clear your head.
Set your sights for the range at 355. Shoot in a state-of-the-art facility with 2 ranges, one programmable for distance and the other for turning and tactical drills featuring Mancom Touch Plus and Mancom Touch & Go systems. Trust us, it's cool. The range at 355, situated on a private parcel of wetlands at the crossroads of I-55 and 355 right off Boughton Road. A shooting oasis with a full array of firearms, ammunition, accessories, and classes with professional guidance and courteous instruction. Take a vacation from the mundane. The range at 355, founded by patriots like you. For range hours and info, visit range355.com.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
It's news, opinion, insight. It's AM 560, The Answer. WIND, Chicago.
This is a Fox News alert. Joe Biden is in for 2020. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. We've heard for months he was probably going to run for president. Now he's made his announcement this morning that he will compete for the Democratic Party nomination. Live in Washington, Fox's Rachel Sutherland.
Chris, the former vice president's opening message is one of morality. His online video beginning with scenes from the racially charged violence in Charlottesville in 2017.
In that moment, I knew the threat to this nation was unlike any I had ever seen in my lifetime.
Biden saying if we give Donald Trump 8 years in the White House, he will forever and fundamentally alter the character of this nation. The 76-year-old will reportedly hold a fundraiser in Philadelphia before holding a rally in Pittsburgh on Monday. President Obama not expected to endorse any Democratic candidate early in the primary process. Chris?
Rachel, thanks. After meeting with the North Korean leader Kim Jong-un, Russian President Vladimir Putin says Kim is ready to move toward denuclearization, but needs serious security guarantees first. Putin also says he'll be happy to share details of that meeting with President Trump. It took place in Vladivostok, that's in eastern Russia. A white supremacist murderer is put to death in Texas.
The state of Texas executing John William King for chaining James Byrd Jr. to a truck and dragging him to his death nearly 21 years ago. 44-year-old King given lethal injection at the state penitentiary in Huntsville, Texas. Authorities saying he didn't open his eyes during the entire process, and 12 minutes after the injection, he exhaled a single deep breath before dying. Roughly a dozen witnesses looked on, including 2 of Byrd's sisters and a niece.
King showed no remorse then and showed no remorse tonight.
King, an avowed racist, orchestrated the gruesome hate crime.
Fox's Lauren Blanchard. Some people in Beach Park, Illinois, that's a Chicago suburb, are told to stay inside, windows closed. There's a toxic gas cloud from a chemical spill. This is Fox News.
This morning, blue skies, sunshine, 48 degrees. 7:02 on AM 560, The Answer. Good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Lake County Sheriff's telling us to warn you about a hazardous material spill, an anhydrous ammonia spill in Beach Park. The incident happened early this morning in the area of Green Bay Road and 29th. All residents in a 1-mile radius are asked to stay inside with the windows closed. There are injuries after a tractor was struck by a vehicle. Parents of a missing 5-year-old boy in a northwest Chicago suburb are now charged in his death.
Both Joanne and Andrew Sr. provided information that ultimately led to the recovery, what we believe is the recovery of deceased subject AJ.
Joanne Cunningham and Andrew Fred Sr. are both being charged with first-degree murder and other charges. Both are in custody. Crystal Lake Police Chief Jim Black.
Investigators located what they believe to be AJ's body, buried in a shallow grave wrapped in plastic in a remote area of Woodstock, Illinois.
Last night, community members gathered to mourn the death of the 5-year-old boy. Kerry Silverstein was among hundreds who attended separate vigils in Crystal Lake and Woodstock.
He's been brought back. He hasn't been brought home, but he's been brought back, and we're going to take care of him.
Meantime, DCFS is investigating their handling of the Andrew Friend case. After the 5-year-old was found dead, DCFS had involvement with AJ and his family off and on since he was born with opiates in his system in 2013. Chicago police and the DEA are investigating a series of drug overdoses that left 4 dead. There were at least 17 overdoses reported on the west and northwest sides after a mixture of heroin and fentanyl was distributed on Tuesday. Several reports say Governor J.B. Pritzker and his wife and brother-in-law are under federal criminal investigation. The report points to evidence that federal officials are probing the trio for an alleged dubious residential property tax appeal on one of their Gold Coast mansions. Pritzker putting on a brave face yesterday, telling reporters he's not worried. Well, Cubs closer Pedro Strop had quite a day yesterday, telling ESPN his car was stolen before the home game against the Dodgers and later involved in a police chase. Strop had to cut short discussing the incident with authorities in the 4th inning because it was likely to be called on to pitch. And those Cubs beat the Dodgers 7-6 at Wrigley Field. Pedro Strop did seal that victory for the win. Orioles edged the White Sox 4-3 in Baltimore. The news service of DEA Take Back Day, DEA's National Prescription Drug Take Back Day, Saturday, April 27th. Find a collection site at DEATakeback.com. A check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America, one life at a time.
I've probably been on it 2 years now, and it's been, honestly, a godsend. After you're on it for a while, you tend to forget the aches and pains and things that was going on in your body and your life before you started taking Balance of Nature. I get up, I go up and down the stairs, no pain. Hey, you know what? Thank goodness for Balance of Nature.
Experience the Balance of Nature difference for yourself by using discount code CHICAGO. The price of fruits and vegetables is going up. Call now to see how you can lock in your price of fruits and vegetables for an entire year and get free shipping on every order. Call 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751, or go online to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Spring has sprung, and there's never been a better time to give your bedroom the makeover it so badly needs. Make your bed more comfortable and save some money in the process during the Boll & Branch Think Spring Sale. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch, makers of the world-famous ultra-soft sheets that are loved by 3 U.S. presidents and millions of Americans. You know our prices are always great, but right now, everything at BollandBranch.com is 20% off. I'll say it again, 20% off. That means our award-winning sheets start at just $160, and shipping is free. These are $1,000 sheets for less than a couple $100. And you can save on our towels, blankets, pillows, even our award-winning mattress. Don't miss this sale. We don't have them often. And remember, Mother's Day is just around the corner. The Think Spring Sale is ending soon, so get 20% off everything before it ends at BollandBranch.com. That's BOLL and branch.com. BollandBranch.com.
Another school year is about to wrap up, and you need to start thinking about what activities your son or daughter will be involved with during summer break. You want them to have fun this summer, but at the same time have some structure to be prepared for the next school year. Introduce them to St. John's Northwestern Experience in the beautiful Lake Country region of southeast Wisconsin with summer OPS, opportunities for personal success. 5 intensive weeks of learning and training. Young men and women grades 7 to 12 get an opportunity to advance academically in the structured and supportive environment of a military boarding school and at the same time be involved in an exciting summer adventure camp that inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, leadership skills, spiritual and character development, and athletics and wellness. Camp St. John's Northwestern for your son or daughter with full boarding or day camp programs. Get more info at 1-800-SJ-CADET. That's 1-800-SJ-CADET or online at sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
You work hard. You know what it takes to succeed. Now it's time to put your experience to work and launch your business. For a limited time, Express Employment Professionals will give you $25,000 to open your franchise. Get to know Express. Visit expressfranchising.com today.
7:08, AM 560 Traffic Center time with Jim.
Major roads are closed in Beach Park and Wadsworth after a crash involving an ammonia spill at Green Bay Road and 29th Street. Green Bay Road is blocked, 173 to Wadsworth Road. Wadsworth Road is closed, Delaney to Green Bay Road. There are closures at 29th, 33rd, and Kenosha Road as well. Southbound Tri-State still has a jam. Archer to Southwest Highway, 2 right lanes are blocked after a crash and car fire. Northbound, it's heavy Kedzie to Southwest Highway. Kennedy, looking at 37 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, quicker in the express. Eisenhower, 48 minutes, 390 to the Burn Circle. Stevenson, 52 minutes, 355 to Lakeshore Drive. Ryan is 26 minutes from 95th to downtown. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Today, partly sunny with a high 70. Couple of showers this evening, then clearing late tonight, low 49. Sunny and breezy tomorrow with a high 64. Periods of rain from late morning on Saturday, a breezy day, and a high 49. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
It is 49 at O'Hare. Next news, 7:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by the Alpha Wealth Group, bringing the trilogy of estate, tax, and investment planning together. Visit alphawealthgroup.com for a free report.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
Good morning, Dan and Amy. Been trying to get to this controversy in quotation marks all week. Kate Smith's rendition of God Bless America. The New York Yankees and Philadelphia Flyers announced this week both would stop using the Kate Smith version of God Bless America during their games.
Why?
It happened after it surfaced that Smith had performed songs now considered racist during her heyday in the 1930s. The Flyers even removed a statue of her from the Philadelphia sports complex. The song, not God Bless America, but the other song that she recorded, the Darkies, That's Why the Darkies Were Born. The lyrics, someone had to pick the cotton, someone had to plant the corn, someone had to slave and be able to sing. That's why the darkies were born. Someone had to laugh at trouble, though he was tired and worn. Had to be contented with any old thing. That's why darkies were born. Now, the just a little bit of history on this. The famed African-American entertainer and Black civil rights leader Paul Robeson, the person who Robeson High School in Chicago is named after. Yeah. He also recorded it. Should it be banned? Should Kate Smith be held accountable for, posthumously be held accountable for this racist song that she recorded 80 years later, and her rendition of God Bless America be banned at Yankee Stadium and at Philadelphia Flyers games? Should she be erased from history?
312-642-5600 is our turnkey.pro answer line. 64636. Type in DA, then a quick question. I mean, can we play it here, Dan?
Yeah, it's a classic rendition
yes.
from a bygone era. And but here's the thing. There's a lot of great renditions of God Bless America. Why must you use Kate Smith's, was the argument. This spilled over into ESPN. Stephen A. Smith and
here we go.
An ESPN radio talk show, ESPN sports radio host named Will Cain got into it on the topic. Here's how that went. You'll hear Will Cain do most of the talking and Stephen A. Smith do most of the interjecting.
You're asking me and Max, Will, what are you suggesting should be done?
Okay. I'm suggesting it's an absolute and utter fool's errand to go back through history, decades, someone who's been passed away for 30 years, incidents which occurred 8 decades ago, and apply modern historical standards to something you can almost reach a century. I'm suggesting that your standard, yours, only requires a handful of people to be a little outraged to go back and tear statues down. And I'm telling you that by your standard, President Obama's statues would not stand to today's standards when it comes to gay rights. Stephen
That's fair. That's fair.
Don't ask, don't tell. What are you talking about?
But my response would be, Will, that's pretty damn easy for you to say because you're not the offended party. It's real easy for the person or the group that's not the offended party to take that position.
And let me just.
You're
going. Will is latching on. There will always be an offended party, though, Stephen A. And they'll make that argument to you one day as well.
Will is latching on to the point. It doesn't appear to be with people that look like you, Will.
Will is latching on to the point. Who brought up how I look? Will is latching on to the point.
I'm just talking about my community compared to yours. That's all I meant by that statement.
Ugh.
Intelligent discussion. You get on ESPN. David Marcus in the Federalist makes an interesting point. So Kate Smith sang a silly song. The New York Yankees systematically denied qualified black baseball players the right to make a good living for more than a half a century, just because they were black. So why is Smith being exiled while the Bronx Bombers go along like nothing happened? Shouldn't the Yankees be banned from Yankee Stadium too?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Good idea.
What about the Negro League era in Major League Baseball before Jackie Robinson, when great ball players were not afforded the opportunity to play in the major leagues simply because they were black? Shouldn't all of those baseball teams, every single one of them, be held to account and erase them from history? Why just dismantle a statue when you can dismantle an entire franchise? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. And what about removing Paul Robeson's name from Robeson High School? That should be renamed.
Right.
Robeson High School on the
Because
south
he
side.
sang that same song.
He sang the
That's
same song.
Controversial right now.
I mean, I guess since Stephen A. Smith say he's from my community, I guess it's okay.
I am so sick of this political correctness and erasing history and taking statues down. I mean, if you don't remember history, well, you're going to repeat it.
As you famously said.
Exactly. I'm sure.
Dave on the north side, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Hey, I think this is as much about the left has never liked God Bless America. They hate that song as it is about Kate Smith. Do you recall the song that was written after God Bless America as a protest to it? It was Woody Guthrie, This Land Is Your Land.
Right.
And a modern-day version is Lee Greenwood, God Bless the USA, and they're gonna be listening to that for 100 years from now, and the left's gonna drive the left crazy just as much.
Thanks for the call, Dave. Appreciate it. Mike and Elgin.
Yeah, hi Dan and Amy. Love the show. Just want to call, what's sad about it, the Darky song, they leave out the context in which it was written. It was a play written to make fun of white supremacists and racism. And they skip over the whole history of Kate Smith I mean, she helped sell, in today's dollars, $10 billion of war bonds for the war.
Yes.
And, I mean, if you want to go erasing history, let's talk about the New York Yankees, where they wouldn't let any black people play on the team.
Well, exactly.
Let's get rid of them.
Yeah, that's what I mentioned that. Thanks for the call, Mike. Yeah, an important point. Mark Stein makes that, too, about that song. This is Mark Stein. It was part of a little group of Broadway review songs of the late 20s and early 30s. In Black and Blue, Supper Time, were other songs, prodding audiences to address a persistent and ugly aspect of American life back when it took a certain amount of courage to do so. Yes, it's an important point that he makes. I forgot to make. Thank you for that, Mike and Elgin, that it was essentially ridiculing racists. But as Mark Stein also writes, 80 years later, the social justice wankers can barely comprehend anything written before 2008. Yeah, it's about right. Mark and Joliet.
Hey, good morning, Amy and Dan. Long time. When I was a kid growing up in the 60s, my teachers read our classes the entire Little House books by Laura Ingalls Wilder. And one of those books, they talked about an ice cream social where all the townsfolk got together, and Pa Ingalls and the men smeared quote-unquote axle grease all over their faces to make them look like darkies, and then kind of had fun with it. So I guess my question is, do we now get rid of Little House on the Prairie? Do we pull that off of TV? Do we pull the Little House books off the shelves? Where do we stop with this?
Thanks, Mark. Margot in Burr Ridge.
Hey, I wanted to say actually two things. First of all, Kate Smith, in addition to Irving Berlin, never made a penny off that song. They both donated all the royalties, for the war effort. So she was a great patriot. The other thing I want to say is, why was life so miserable for blacks in the 1930s? Well, it's because in 1909, the state of Georgia passed the first minimum wage law, and it was set higher than blacks could hope to make because they could only make a fraction of what whites made. So that is why they were so miserable. They couldn't get a job because they couldn't compete with whites. I mean, they were willing to work for less, but they weren't allowed to because these minimum wage laws were all starting up. And now, we all believe what Teddy Kennedy said, that it was supposed to be a living wage. But that was the true origin, the state of Georgia, 1909.
Thanks, Margot. Tom in Deer Park.
Yeah, Amy, you mentioned that there's a movement to rewrite history. I would suggest you can't rewrite what you've never read. And if you go back to the late 1890s, early 1900s, no other than Thomas Edison not only participated but patented in the profit of what were called darkies. They were on wax discs. They were called Ediphones that they were played on. And the lyrics were not pleasant, and it wasn't meant to be cute. But that was a sign of the times. It's what Edison did. Of the many things that he did, including inventing the light bulb and propagating electricity, just like Henry Ford was a virulent anti-Semite.
Yes.
So, we're going to look at humanity and the things that people did. They might want to turn off their power and stop driving their Fords if we're going to go down this route.
Thanks, Tom. And, this is consistent, too, just talking about the ignorance. Nothing written before 2008 is even worthy of consideration. This is Maggie Haberman, the New York Times, big shot, remarking on the playing of Edelweiss in the White House and suggesting it was some kind of Nazi dog whistle.
What?
Has anybody not seen The Sound of Music? Maybe Maggie Haberman has seen it. She doesn't understand it. I mean, but this is what she did. This became a thing. Oh, because she's Maggie Haberman. She had the New York Times.
You should listen to her.
Yeah, the song was a statement of Austrian patriotism, right? In the face of pressure put upon George von Trapp to join the navy of Nazi Germany, following the annexation of Austria by Germany, right? People understand that. Maggie Haberman doesn't. New York Times, national correspondent. She's on the Sunday talk shows all the time. She must be smart. She must be knowledgeable. She must be thoughtful. No, not necessarily any of those things. Absurd. Anti-intellectual. Pro-ignorance. Mike in Morton Grove.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that if we're going to ban Kate Smith, maybe we should ban Michael Jackson, too, because what he did is pretty darn offensive to me. And I'll leave you guys with that thought.
I'd say
Good show.
thanks for the call, Mike. Appreciate
I
it.
can't listen to any of his songs now.
Well,
I've tried. I even deleted them from my iTunes.
This is a conversation we've had too, right? About how do you deal with like entertainers or artists whose work you really like that turned out to be just despicable human beings, or at least did despicable things, as Michael Jackson, I think, fairly clearly did. Bill Cosby, clearly did.
Your whole opinion, you have to process their bad behavior and their criminal acts.
But is it for the mob to decide, or is it for adults to make those discernments about which kind of content they want to consume, the artists they want to patronize? You really want the state and its sort of the civic appendages who bow to the state to make those decisions, to remove materials,
to remove statues,
to remove art?
I mean, really, removing the Kate Smith statue. Oh, that's just going to make everything better.
Cindy and Joliet.
Hey, good morning, Dan. Hi, Amy. As I've been on hold, I've had a little deeper thought about this whole thing. And I said to your screener, I think that it's, there's two sides to this story. The 30s and the 40s were certainly highly racially charged. And this song now doesn't really fit our 2019 social perspective. However, if you take it in context, like your one caller said, it points to the era. But going further than that, once precedent was set with banning all of this stuff that can be interpreted as racist or, projects Nazi theory, Nazi lifestyle, all of that. Once that precedent was set, it all rolls downhill after that. So the first mistake was allowing, the left to come in with, oh, we're offended. I'm offended by the left. Okay, let's just start there because I'm going to see, like AOC take a boat over to Italy for the weekend, with a little fun weekend romp. It's getting to be ridiculous, and you cannot teach common sense. And I think we've evolved as a society, and I don't think it's terrible that Kate Smith is not going to be, singing her song at the Yankees games. But then they need to go look at Mighty Mouse and get rid of the Magpies.
Well, right. But then you're thanks for the call, Cindy. But then you're on the path to oblivion. You're on the path to the elimination of art and history and intellectual thought. You don't want to go down that path. I mean, Jason Whitlock, who's a sports writer as well, he made the point about this. What is the point of this exactly? It's to improve race relations? It's to correct the record? Well, this isn't going to do any of that. Jason Whitlock is an African-American sports journalist, I should say. This isn't going to improve race relations. It's just going to polarize people. And to what end? What's being accomplished exactly?
You're listening to Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Message and data rates may apply.
Ladies and gentlemen, this may be the last time you ever have to worry about hair loss. Because Bosley is the real deal. They're giving women and men their hair back permanently. Their real hair. All it takes to get started is a single text message. You'll get an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card when you text TRUST to 85850. Bosley will show you, for free, how great your hair could look. You'll also see, for free, why you're losing hair and how to get it back. Women and men all over the country trust Bosley because they're America's #1 hair restoration expert. Ahead of the curve with the latest technology. And the best part? Bosley has permanent solutions to hair loss. You'll love what they'll do for your hair. So drop what you're doing long enough to send a text. Get your free information kit and gift card for $250 off by texting TRUST to 85850. Don't forget, that's TRUST to 85850.
Hey, listen up. For only $795 a month, you can eliminate the hassle of IT and computer issues with Turnkey IT. It'll be like having your own in-house IT department, but better. IT networks, computers, yuck, all that stuff. You just want to run your business. So call Turnkey IT or go to them online because they make it happen. They make your network secure, and they make it smart. You'll be set up for success and not have to deal with all the technical issues that can overwhelm a business. Turnkey becomes your IT department, and they'll help you with your daily IT issues, plus set you up with preventative steps to keep your business going. Leave the technical stuff to the pros so you can focus on the important things. Visit turnkey.pro today. That's turnkey.pro.
It was a brutally cold, harsh winter. Pothole season is bad. Guess what? Your commercial building parking lot took a beating too. Take care of it now to prevent further damage. Time to get a great parking lot. Great Parking Lots, a local company with decades of great parking lots for Chicagoland. Get a quote.
This is Kevin Berquist. My company is SKC Construction, home of GreatParkingLots.com. Great parking lots. The name says it all. We make your parking lot great.
Commercial parking lot seal coating and maintenance. Get a great parking lot. They use a special process that not only works well, but lasts longer. It's a great investment for your business or for your commercial building to have a great parking lot. It's the first impression for everyone in the building and people visiting the building. And you can do business with a company that shares your values.
I guarantee you'll have a good experience. Check it out. GreatParkingLots.com.
GreatParkingLots.com. GreatParkingLots.com.
Hey, the weather is turning the corner, and if you haven't already, you want to get out there, enjoy the spring, play some golf, do some backyard work. And if you're sick or feeling run down or just don't have the energy you need, well, I've got a solution for you. Try taking Balance of Nature. 10 servings of 31 fruits and veggies, all in a single capsule, no dyes or preservatives. Because admit it, none of us eat enough fruits and vegetables on our own. And that's why Balance of Nature is so great. It's easy and it's healthy. And yes, the testimonials you hear on this station are real. I've met Dr. Douglas Howard a few times now, founder and creator of Balance of Nature. He's very passionate about his product. He cares about his customers. You know, he was really energetic when he showed me the emails that he receives from people who are living healthier lives because of Balance of Nature. And that could be you too. And right now you can lock in your price for fruits and vegetables today and get free shipping on every order. If you lock in now, you won't have to pay more when the cost of produce starts to rise later this year. Call one of their health coaches at 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751. Use promo code Chicago or go online, balanceofnature.com, promo code Chicago.
Your Sprinter or light-duty diesel is the lifeblood of your business. You can't afford to have just anyone care for this major piece of equipment. You wouldn't go to an eye doctor to fix your knee, so don't go to any shop to fix your Sprinter, Duramax, Cummins, or Power Stroke vehicle. Go to the experts at Remke's Garage. Remke's Garage doesn't just fix a problem, they find a solution. Remke's goal is to make sure you never lose $1 of business. That's why owner Joe Remke sits with you and creates a maintenance plan specific to your unique vehicle. Go to Remke'sGarage.com to learn more about their specialization in Sprinter and light-duty diesel vehicles. Their commitment to your business is backed with a complimentary maintenance plan and free 2-year warranty on all parts. They'll even pick up, deliver, and offer you a loaner vehicle free of charge. Go to Remke'sGarage.com to schedule your free maintenance plan consultation.
AM 560, The Answer.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Biden is in. We'll discuss the Dem Socialist feel with Matthew Connelly from the Washington Free Beacon at 7:37.
And we might even bore you with his videotaped announcement that he's running. But first, let's go into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
Sunshine, 49 degrees at 7:31. Lake County Sheriff's Office warning residents in Beach Park about a hazardous materials spill. It's anhydrous ammonia. The original plume after an accident is beginning to dissipate, but sheriffs are saying and fire department officials are joining in and saying the 1 mile area around Green Bay Road and 29th, residents in that area should stay inside and keep their windows closed. A Sri Lankan business tycoon this morning is being accused of helping his 2 sons carry out the Easter Sunday suicide bombings that killed over 350. Hundreds more were injured in the coordinated attacks on churches and hotels across Sri Lanka. Police spokesman tells CNN Mohammed Youssef Ibrahim is being held on suspicion of aiding and abetting his sons. Russian President Vladimir Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un are talking about North Korea's nuclear weapons program. NBC's Keir Simons is watching the talks between Kim and Putin.
The question really is whether this is an opportunity to put pressure back on Washington. Certainly, although this is happening here a long way away from the United States, this is all about sending a message to President Trump.
Kim and Putin met today on an island in the eastern Russian port city of Vladivostok. Former Vice President Joe Biden running for president, making the announcement this morning in a video message posted online. Presidential historian John Meacham says Biden will try and appeal to political unity.
Former Vice President will make a compelling case about the greatness of what not just the Democratic Party, but a kind of American party, super party structure has done for the country.
Biden is one of nearly 24 Democrats running to challenge President Trump in 2020. Parents of a missing 5-year-old boy in Chicago's northwest suburbs are being charged in his death.
Both Joanne and Andrew Sr. provided information that ultimately led to the recovery, what we believe is the recovery of deceased subject AJ.
Joanne Cunningham and Andrew Friend Sr. are both charged with first-degree murder. Chicago police and the DEA are investigating a series of drug overdoses that left 4 dead. At least 17 overdoses were reported on the west and northwest sides after a mixture of heroin and fentanyl was distributed on Tuesday. Cubs beat the Dodgers 7-6. Orioles trimmed the White Sox 4-3 in Baltimore. The news a service of InvisibleFence.com. Keep your pets secure and safe with Boundary Plus technology exclusively from Invisible Fence brand. Boundary Plus, the only dog fence that provides additional protection against escape. Save 50% on professional installation when you schedule your in-home quote today at InvisibleFence.com. 7:34 and a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Do you own or run a thriving business in the Chicagoland area? Have you overcome obstacles to make your business what it is today? If that's your business, then AM 560 wants to tell your story on the AM 560 Business Tour, presented by Signature Bank. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson will be broadcasting live from businesses all around Chicagoland, telling success stories of thriving, successful businesses. Hey, if that's you, tell us about it. Visit 560theanswer.com/business and submit your information. That's 560theanswer.com/business.
What is certainty? Certainty is the passionate commitment to fulfill every promise. Certainty is 4imprint, a caring, trusted team of promotional product experts, minding every detail to ensure your logo will look perfect on everything from apparel, drinkware to trade show traffic stoppers and hot tech. All delivered on time, every time, with the promise of your satisfaction guaranteed. So, what does certainty bring? Promotional items exceeding expectations, a buzz of excitement for your team and your customers, a pep in your step, a fist pump, a whoop, a tingle, a grin, a laugh, or even one quiet word that no one will ever hear. Yes! Explore thousands of promotional products at 4imprint.com. That's the number 4imprint.com. 4imprint, for certain.
Diabetes, high blood pressure, anxiety meds, everyone's on them. If you're a 50-year-old male, maybe a bit porky, and you may even have type 2 diabetes, $1 million of term insurance may only cost you about $200 a month. Call Term Provider. Speak with Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Big Lou will find a term life policy for you even if you have type 2 diabetes, are overweight, or have high blood pressure. Term Provider has helped thousands of people like you who think they can't afford term life insurance. To buy $1 million of affordable term life for you, all you need to do is call Big Lou at 800-444-2013. Lou will make sure the scales are tipped in your favor. Call 800-444-2013. Big Lou will answer your call and work to fit you into a term life policy that you can afford. Remember, Big Lou's like you. He's on meds, too. Call 800-444-2013. 800-444-2013.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
7:37. Let's get an update on the roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
Major roads remain closed in Beach Park and Wadsworth after a crash and ammonia spill at Green Bay Road and 29th Street. There are closures of Green Bay Road, Wadsworth Road, and other major thoroughfares in the area. Southbound Tri-State's a mess. Archer to Southwest Highway, crashed. Car fire, still 2 right lanes blocked. Northbound it's jammed. Kedzie to Southwest Highway, and from the Stevenson to North Avenue. Kennedy runs 50 minutes, O'Hare to downtown. It's quicker in the express. Eisenhower, 48 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, 58 minutes, 355 to the drive. Ryan, 27 minutes, 95th to downtown. I-57, 25 minutes from I-80 to the merge. Bishop, 429. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Clouds and sun, 70 today. Couple of showers this evening, otherwise becoming clear. Low 49, sunny and breezy tomorrow. High 64. Currently 49. Next news at 8. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
Don't forget that you can watch Chicago's Morning Answer on the Income Store live video stream every morning at 560theanswer.com.
Making America great again with no apologies. Join me, Sebastian Gorka, for America First tonight at 10 on AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. President Trump yesterday greeting reporters with First Lady Melania in tow and saying of the whole Mueller matter and the ongoing efforts by congressional Democrats to subpoena top aides or former top aides, including former White House counsel Don McGahn, enough already.
Well, the subpoena is ridiculous. I have been the most transparent president and administration in the history of our country by far. We just went through the Mueller witch hunt where you had really 18 angry Democrats that hate President Trump. They hate him with a passion. They were contributors in many cases to Hillary Clinton. Hate him with a passion. How they picked this panel, I don't know. And they came up with no collusion, and they actually also came up with no obstruction. But our Attorney General ruled, based on the information, there was no obstruction. So you have no collusion, no obstruction. Now we're finished with it, and I thought after 2 years, we'd be finished with it. No, now the House goes and starts subpoenaing. They want to know every deal I've ever done. Now, Mueller, I assume, for $35 million, checked my taxes, checked my financials, which are great, by the way. You know they're great. All you have to do is go look at the records. They're all over the place. But they checked my financials and they checked my taxes, I assume. It was the most thorough investigation probably in the history of our country. I think I read where they interviewed 500 people. I say it's enough. Get back to infrastructure, get back to cutting taxes, get back to lowering drug prices. That's what, that's what we should be doing.
For more on this topic and so much else, we're pleased to be joined by Matthew Continetti again. He is the editor of the Washington Free Beacon. Matthew, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Is that where congressional Republicans are at as well? Enough of it already? And if that means you have to stand and fight, then you stand and fight?
Sure. I think Trump will have allies among the congressional Republicans in his fight with the Democratic House majority. And remember, one advantage Trump has that, say, his Republican predecessor, George W. Bush, did not, is that the Republicans still control the Senate. And so all the pressure is coming from the House. I think it's easier to combat that than if you were fighting a two-front war against both the House and the Senate.
Now, there was this piece at The Atlantic that, of course, some of the cable news channels are trying to make a lot of hay with. J.W. Verity, he's a law professor at George Mason University. He was on Trump's transition team for a few months as a economic policy advisor. Didn't come in with a lot of admiration for Trump. Obviously, George Mason Law disagrees with him on free trade and a couple of other economic matters. But he writes in The Atlantic, the Mueller report was the last straw for him. It's time to begin an impeachment proceeding. So as somebody of the center right who does not, said I was never part of the Never Trump movement, even though I had my serious qualms about the guy and disagree with him on some policy, he's saying, impeachment. Is there a sense that there's influencer attrition happening around Trump such that you could see political attrition in the House, meaning the House Republicans?
I don't get that sense. I think impeachment is still unpopular. I don't know if it's been polled since the Mueller report came out, but all the polls we have recently up until the report certainly illustrate that the public is against impeachment. That's why you saw Nancy Pelosi basically throw cold water on the idea in a call with congressional Democrats, House Democrats, earlier this week. And certainly among the Republican Party and Republican officials, you've seen no move towards supporting even continued inquiries into Trump and into this question raised by the Mueller report of whether his actions constituted obstruction of justice, which, of course, both Bill Barr and Rod Rosenstein said did not constitute obstruction. So this is a play by the Democrats to keep up the pressure on Trump, to continue basically to tie down his administration in these investigations, to cause him political damage by whatever facts they uncover. And Trump, as always, an advocate of the politics of confrontation, is going to fight them every step in the way. And the truth is, Congress's tools are rather limited. So it may come out a stalemate for the foreseeable future.
One political commentator suggested censuring the president. Do you think that's an option or should even be considered?
My reading of the Mueller report says that should not be considered. But I'm not in Congress. I don't see that being voiced in the House majority, which is the Democratic majority. What you see from the Democrats and from their leaders, Pelosi and Hoyer, is a attempt to continue to investigate Trump. That's what they want to do. They want to investigate Trump because the idea of holding the president accountable is popular. The idea of impeaching him on what was uncovered by Mueller is not popular.
So Joe Biden is in as of this morning. He's got a campaign video where he speaks breathlessly about national unity and chastises the president's handling of the protests and chaos in Charlottesville that resulted in part in the death of a young woman, and sort of the national unity play. What's the path for Joe Biden in this primary election? Do you see him as more likely than not to be the Jeb Bush of this election cycle?
Well, we really don't know. I mean, the path for Joe Biden is to stay right where he is, and where he is ahead in the polls. He is appealing to various groups within the Democratic Party who are not part of the progressive left or the Democratic socialist left of that party. He is viewed by many Democrats as being the most electable candidate, and Democrats certainly value electability in 2020 because they want to defeat Donald Trump. And, his reputation is as someone who can appeal to white working class voters who are a necessary part of the Democratic coalition. If you don't get enough of them, you cannot win. But
you know what's interesting about that though, because Scranton Joe and you get that all the time. When the white working class was in lockstep with the Democrats 30 years ago and 10 years ago, Joe Biden couldn't get them. He couldn't mount a serious campaign for presidency. He never even threatened the Democrat nomination either his previous runs. Now, when the white working class has been finally co-opted by Republicans with Trump's election in 2016, now's the time when the white working class is going to return to the Democratic primary to vote for Joe Biden. I don't see it.
Right. I'm talking about the arguments he's going to make and the arguments his supporters are going to make. I mean, you point to one of his big vulnerabilities, which is the fact that this is his third try to be the president of the United States. And his previous two tries failed, one because of plagiarism and two because he just didn't take off in 2008. He also made several gaffes in 2007, 2008. And he couldn't compete with Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton. So he has that baggage that he carries in with him into the race. But the question for me is, will he be able to maintain his position once the campaign actually gets underway, once the debates start, once Oppo is being released against him and leaked to various papers? We saw a taste of that with Lucy Flores, the Democratic official and Bernie Sanders supporter who's accused Joe of being creepy in the way that he touched women or nuzzled them and whatever, and that led to his
Eskimo
apology
kisses.
video.
Nuzzled. Do you ever think you have to use that word in politics? Nuzzled.
Yeah, I know. Only with Biden. Yeah, only with
But,
Biden.
I mean, do you think
rub noses.
Yeah, but that came out, 3 weeks ago? Do you think people have forgotten about that? Because
I do.
the
I think
videos could
he's
play
gone.
over and over in my mind of him, brushing people's hair back, sniffing the back of
Right.
their hair, all that creepy
It
stuff.
didn't seem to have an impact on his numbers among Democrats. So it's hard to say. I think what's going to happen, is that we're going to have these polls showing that Biden does very well against Donald Trump in the hypothetical matchup, but inevitably he's going to say something that will offend one of the constituent groups of the Democratic Party, and then he'll find himself in a difficult situation. And the man's middle name is Gaff. I mean, he's always saying things that get him in trouble. Will he be able to control himself? I'm not sure.
Yeah, the other thing about Biden is he's got a record, and a record of over 3 decades in the Senate. He didn't just arrive on the scene with Barack Obama, and so that record and the votes that he took in a number of areas are going to be fodder for the majority. I believe the majority in the polling suggests the majority of the Democrat primary vote, which is highly skeptical of this fossil to begin with. That's number one. Number two is, look, the polling, this is reminiscent of the perceived matchup with Hillary Clinton when you had 18 Republican candidates running around. Oh, this is the most electable, this is the most electable. Look at the head-to-head matchups. The head-to-head matchups are all muddled because Hillary's such a flawed candidate. It's sort of the same thing with Trump. I mean, Bernie Sanders in some polls right now is a couple of points ahead of Trump. So he's going to have a hard time saying, I'm the only one who can beat Trump when the numbers suggest otherwise.
Sure. Biden goes in, he'd be the most experienced president probably we've ever had. That's, of course, a downside because when Americans vote for president, they tend to want somebody new, and they tend to want someone who's fresh, an outsider. And, of course, Biden is the consummate insider, and he's also very old. He'd be our oldest president by far. These are big liabilities. At the same time, I think the argument he's going to make to Democrats is we need to move on from the Trump presidency. We need someone who's going to be able to try to calm partisan passions, and we're going to be someone who's not going to scare away most of America with socialist ideas. And I think that might appeal to many Democrats, though, of course, I can't be sure since I'm not one.
And do you think President Barack Obama is going to come out and support him right away or campaign with him?
No, I don't think so. I think one of the telling aspects of the story is the reluctance of many Obama officials to back Biden at an early stage. And I think Obama is going to probably stay out of the primary for as long as he can. That might change if Sanders becomes even more of a threat than he is today. But I think at this point, Biden and Obama are going to have some distance between them. Look, Obama backed Hillary early on last time, and I think that really hurt him. And I hope he realizes what a mistake that was. And so maybe this time he'll kind of play, the grand old man of the party and kind of stay on the sidelines, at least at first. I think if Bernie comes out and wins Iowa, next January,
that's a problem.
And follows that up with the New Hampshire victory, the Democratic Party is going to start melting down very quickly, and there's going to be a real panic in order to stop Bernie, just like you saw a panic among many Republican elites in 2016 over Donald Trump's victories.
If only Biden had like compromising emails on Obama that could put him in legal jeopardy like Hillary did. Matthew Continetti, editor of the Washington Free Beacon. Matt, thanks for joining us again. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Balance of Nature's fruit and veggie capsules contain 100% fine-ripened fruits and vegetables, tested pure with no pesticides, fillers, or additives of any kind, and are the most effective whole food supplements on the market today. You might ask, how can over 10 servings of 31 different fruits and vegetables fit into 6 vegetarian capsules? Fruits and vegetables are on an average 85% water. Balance of Nature uses cold vacuum technology to remove the water, leaving only the whole food. We don't use any heat, air, or light drying methods that damage nutrients. Our cold vacuum technology maintains 99% of the fresh fruits and vegetables' original nutritional value. Along with diet and exercise, Mother Nature provides fruits and vegetables to help us maintain good health.
To order, go to balanceofnature.com or call 1-800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751 and use discount code CHICAGO.
With summer fast approaching, now's the time to fill your son's schedule with athletics, STEM, and academic enrichment camps at Northridge Prep's summer programs for boys in grades 4 through 8 for the week of June 17th through the 21st. Drop your son off at 9 and pick him up at 3 for a full day of fun. In the morning, a choice between basketball skill builder and wrestling, technique and strength. In the afternoon, battles of the Civil War or robotics, introduction to mechanical design. That's a full week of sports and experiential learning to keep your son developing his interests and skills this summer. Here's what Chicago Bulls GM Gar Forman had to say about the basketball skill builder camp. Quote, when it comes to teaching offensive skill development in youth basketball, Coach Ray provides as complete and detailed an approach as I've seen. He's talking about former Loyola coach Will Ray, who's the athletic director at Northridge Prep as well. Seats are limited for all camps, and some, like the Dangerous Camp for Boys, are already 100% filled up. Learn more and register online now at northridgeprep.org/summer. That's northridgeprep.org/summer.
This story is called The Ugly Truth About Timeshare. If you think you've done your family a favor by buying a timeshare, you need my help. Hello, I'm Chuck McDowell, CEO and founder of Wesley Financial Group. 10 years ago, I started helping folks cancel their timeshare contracts, and in the process started what's now called the timeshare cancellation industry. Timeshare is the only thing that you can buy that you can't tell me how much it's going to cost or when it's going to end. When you buy a timeshare, you give them a blank check to fill out any amount they want for annual maintenance and assessment fees. Sound crazy? The crazy thing is, this never ends. Even when you die, your family's now going to be stuck with this burden. Stop the insanity today. Call my office now. I guarantee if we can't cancel your timeshare contract, you'll pay nothing.
Call for your free information kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100. 800-290-7100.
Come on, let's talk about it. How's your sump pump? How's your backup sump pump system? Well, it's important stuff, just as important as who you contact for help, and that would be Permaseal, of course. If you have a sump pump, it needs to be checked to make sure it's working properly. A battery backup is your safeguard in the event of a pump failure or power outage. But remember that all sump pumps fail. It's not if, but when. And independent lab results show that Permaseal battery backup systems are your best value in backup sump pump protection. Here's what you do to schedule your free, no-obligation inspection. Call Permaseal now, 800-421-SEAL. That's 800-421-7325, or go to permaseal.net. Permaseal has been providing dry and healthy basements and crawl spaces to over 400,000 homeowners all over the Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana area. Call Permaseal now, 800-421-SEAL or permaseal.net.
In today's turbulent times, professionals from a variety of industries are faced with concerns regarding workplace violence and the harm it can cause to its employees. Workplace violence can manifest in any setting and oftentimes might come without warning. The team at P4 Security Solutions can assist your organization in mitigating risks to prevent you and your employees from becoming a victim.
Hi, I'm Lawrence Doria, President and CEO of P4 Security Solutions. As a lifelong Chicagoan and security expert with over 40 years in the industry, I take pride in providing our clients a variety of security offerings to address your risks and concerns. Our security services deliver customized offerings to address threats while maintaining continuity. P4 Security Solutions, your trusted advisor for uncertain times.
Contact P4 Security Solutions when you require active shooter training, workplace violence programs, off-duty police services, security assessments, personal protection, or any other of our security solutions. Visit our website at p4secure.com or call us at 312-502-1702 for immediate response.
AM 560, The Answer.
Dan and Amy, I love when feuding politicians want to settle things on the field, as it were, not at the ballot box. A duel. And that's what happened in Bridgeport, Connecticut, Connecticut's largest city. Two feuding politicians started accusing each other of being on mind-altering substances.
Oh, no. That's not going to end well. So what is...
This started on a local political blog.
Yeah.
These are two candidates for city councilman of the city of Bridgeport. So they challenged each other to a public drug test.
Did they have to pee in a cup, Dan, or just give a piece of hair?
Both handed over plastic cups of urine.
Well, but no, you got to make sure that that's their own urine. Somebody would have to.
Sure.
Well, no. When you get drug tested, they always say leave the door open, and they make sure that
the urine was notarized. Is that?
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you.
They both passed their respective tests.
Okay.
Actually, the interesting thing, Ukraine's presidential election, where the comedian won.
Yeah.
They did a live streamed drug test earlier this month to the candidates in the Ukraine presidential election. So not exactly Hamilton Burr, but I would say, a sword fight of a different nature.
Oh, that's right. And our Democratic candidates for president, they can't brag enough about how they've smoked pot. They're celebrating their drug use. Have you noticed?
The only issue with this duel in Bridgeport.
Yes, back to the sword fight, yes.
Well, it was between Ernest Newton and Maria Pereira.
Oh, so there wasn't two swords, just one. Wah, wah.
She was...
Don't let the facts get in the way of a good story, Dan.
Well,
please.
I know. I had to shoehorn the sword fight thing, and she was outgunned, obviously.
Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
The end of liberal arts at Tulsa University and higher ed generally at 8:08.
And later, a dress code that has nothing to do with the students. But first, let's get into the newsroom. Here's Mike Scott.
A chemical spill in Beach Park causing problems for residents there, while the parents of a Crystal Lake boy are now found dead, are charged with murder. WIND Chicago News Time is 8 o'clock.
Welcome to the race, Sleepy Joe. I'm Chris Foster, Fox News. That's President Trump's tweet about former Vice President Joe Biden's announcement that he is officially in the Democratic Party presidential race. His campaign put out a video this morning focused on the 2017 white supremacist march in Charlottesville, North Carolina.
Their crazed faces, illuminated by torches, veins bulging and bearing the fangs of racism, chanting the same anti-Semitic bile heard across Europe in the 30s.
Counter-protester was killed. Biden says when President Trump said there were good people on both sides there, he knew the threat to this nation was unlike any he'd ever seen before. Depending on who you count as major, Biden is the 20th major candidate to be competing for the Democratic Party nomination. An electronic surveillance program secretly put in place after the 9/11 attacks may be coming to an end. At the White House, here's Fox's John Decker.
In an about-face from the National Security Agency, the NSA is now reportedly recommending that the White House abandon a surveillance program that collects information about U.S. phone calls and text messages. According to the Wall Street Journal, the agency says the logistical and legal burdens of keeping it outweigh its intelligence benefits. For years, the NSA had argued that the spying program was vital to finding and disrupting terrorism plots against the U.S. The legal authority for that surveillance program will expire in December unless it is reauthorized by Congress. Chris?
John, thanks. The North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is on his way home after meeting in Russia with Russian President Vladimir Putin.
At the end of a roughly 5-hour summit in Vladivostok, Russia, Kim Jong-un waving from his departing limo as Vladimir Putin waved back. The North Korean leader reporting candid and meaningful talks.
Fox's Simon Owen. This is Fox News.
Blue skies and sunshine. We have 49 degrees at 8:02 on AM 560, The Answer, and good morning. I'm Mike Scott. Lake County Sheriff's Office continues to warn residents today about a hazardous materials spill in Beach Park. The incident happening early this morning in the area of Green Bay Road and 29th Street. Because of the anhydrous ammonia spill, all residents within a 1-mile radius are being asked to stay inside with the windows closed. The parents of a missing 5-year-old boy are being charged with his death.
Both Joanne and Andrew Sr. provided information that ultimately led to the recovery, what we believe is the recovery of deceased subject AJ.
Joanne Cunningham and Andrew Friends Sr. are both being charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery and aggravated domestic battery, and failure to report a missing or child death. Crystal Lake Police Chief Jim Black says there are still unanswered questions.
Investigators located what they believe to be AJ's body, buried in a shallow grave wrapped in plastic in a remote area of Woodstock, Illinois.
Meantime, DCFS is also investigating. DCFS has had involvement with AJ Friend and his family off and on since he was born in 2013. 3 men are facing charges after shots were fired at police during a chase this past weekend in North Chicago. The trio charged with attempted murder of a police officer. Chicago police and the DEA are investigating a series of drug overdoses that left 4 dead. At least 17 overdoses were reported on the west and northwest sides after a mixture of heroin and fentanyl was distributed on Tuesday. Cubs beat the Dodgers 7-6. Orioles over the White Sox 4-3 in Baltimore. At 8:03, it's time for a dry basement and a healthy home. It's time to call Permaseal 800-421-SEAL. Time for the AM 560 Business Beat. And from the Fox Business Network, here's Jenny Casola.
From the Fox Business Network, Altria Group, parent company of Philip Morris and Marlboro, is reporting a disappointing winter quarter. Cigarette sales slipped, down more than 14%. Candy company Hershey is reporting a better-than-expected quarter. Sales increased and were stronger than forecast. Southwest Airlines says it was impacted by the grounding of its 737 MAX jets, but still its business was better than expected in the winter quarter. Southwest says the issue cost the company more than $200 million. It was also dealing with severe weather, unscheduled maintenance of planes, the government shutdown, and fewer people taking vacations. Walmart has been told it cannot merge its British grocery unit, Asda, with British supermarket chain J. Sainsbury. Regulators in the United Kingdom believe Walmart's control over the business would result in higher prices for shoppers and would reduce competition. With the Fox Business Report, I'm Jenny Cosola.
The search for a great dentist. It's never an easy task. It can be exhausting finding the right dentist and staff, not only to get beautiful results, but one that you're comfortable with. This may make your search a bit easier. How about choosing a dentist recently voted as one of the top 40 Chicagoland dentists by Chicago Magazine? That's Dr. Michael Unti at Palatine Complete Dental. He, along with his skilled team, are interested in being your family dentist. Palatine Complete Dental is a high-tech dental practice offering services in cosmetic and family dentistry, implant placement and restoration, including implant retained dentures and bridges, braces, Invisalign, and TMJ therapy. They'll go out of their way to make each visit a pleasant experience. Your search for a dentist is over. Get results that speak for themselves. Bright, healthy, head-turning smiles. Schedule an appointment today with Dr. Michael Unti at Palatine Complete Dental. Quality care with Christian values. Go to PalatineDentist.com. PalatineDentist.com.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
Spring has sprung, and there's never been a better time to give your bedroom the makeover it so badly needs. Make your bed more comfortable and save some money in the process during the Boll & Branch Think Spring Sale. Hi, I'm Scott Tannen, founder of Boll & Branch, makers of the world-famous ultra-soft sheets that are loved by 3 U.S. presidents and millions of Americans. You know our prices are always great, but right now, everything at BollandBranch.com is 20% off. I'll say it again, 20% off. That means our award-winning sheets start at just $160, and shipping is free. These are $1,000 sheets for less than a couple $100. And you can save on our towels, blankets, pillows, even our award-winning mattress. Don't miss this sale. We don't have them often. And remember, Mother's Day is just around the corner. The Think Spring Sale is ending soon, so get 20% off everything before it ends at BollandBranch.com. That's BOLL and branch.com. BollandBranch.com.
8:08 and a check on your morning roads in the AM 560 Traffic Center with Jim Talamonte.
In Beach Park, Green Bay Road remains closed between 173 and Wadsworth Road after a crash and ammonia spill. There are closures of Wadsworth Road between Delaney and Green Bay and other major thoroughfares as well. All area residents are urged to stay indoors with the windows closed. Southbound Tri-State traffic is jammed. From the Stevenson to Southwest Highway, 2 right lanes are blocked after a wreck. Northbound it's heavy, Kedzie to Southwest Highway, and from the Stevenson to North Avenue. Edens is 26 minutes, Lake Hook to Montrose. Kennedy, 58 minutes, O'Hare to downtown, much quicker than the Express. The Ike, an hour and 10 minutes, 390 to downtown. Stevenson, an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to the Drive. Ryan, 37 minutes from 95th. That's traffic. I'm Jim Talamonte on AM 560, The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center and our meteorologist, Steve Williams.
Times of sun and clouds today, high 70. Some evening showers tonight, then clearing, low 49. Sunny and breezy tomorrow, the high 64. Rain from late morning on Saturday, a breezy day, high 49. I'm Steve Williams on AM 560, The Answer.
49 at O'Hare. Next news, 8:30. Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560, The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by In the Know with Wealth Management Group, hosted by Craig Bolanos. Heard Sunday mornings at 10.
This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560, The Answer.
They got the beat, the campus beat, the campus beat. Yeah, the campus beat.
Dan and Amy, we've got a lot to cover in our latest edition of Campus Beat. Let's start at St. Olaf College in Minnesota, shall we?
Oh, St. Olaf, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
The topic, radical fat liberation. The speaker, Sonali Rashatoire, who was invited to provide a 2-hour speech at St. Olaf College's Wellness Center, Women's and Gender Studies Department, and Center for Equity and Inclusion all sponsored this academic. Her Instagram username is the Fat Sex Therapist. She believes that fitness trainers are comparable to Nazis
Oh.
And children's dieting is comparable to sexual assault. I truly believe that a child cannot consent to being on a diet the same way a child cannot consent to having sex. Tonight we're going to start by talking about how to politicize our definition of body image, she began, because oftentimes we actually get stuck thinking of it from a white supremacist lens. Hi. White supremacy happens every day in the little things. We should be critical of the use of science, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
And the production of knowledge to continue promoting the idea that certain bodies are fit, able, and desirable. Is it my fatness that causes my high blood pressure, or is it my experience of weight stigma?
I'm going to go with the science on that one and say it's her weight.
Yeah. Well, you would be
more than
thrown
likely-
out of that lecture.
Yeah. Causing high blood pressure.
Fat phobic is often actually eugenic science. Eugenic science is Nazi science. Quote. 2 hours. All the kids gather around. Radical fat liberation. Important topics to teach critical thinking. Challenging authority. She also suggested that fat phobic science had something to do with the mosque shootings in New Zealand.
Wow. That's a big stretch there.
Quote, I do not think it's surprising that the man who shot up Christchurch, New Zealand was also a fitness instructor. Clear communication, there's still an idealized body. Nazis really love this idea of an idealized body, and so it makes a lot of sense to me that a fitness instructor might also think about an idealized body in this thin white supremacist way. Interesting piece in the Wall Street Journal from college students. Op-ed, what college isn't teaching you, what your college isn't teaching. Undergrads talking about their real-time experience at their university of choice. Excerpts. IKEA gives more direction, said Wynn Bartlett, a Texas A&M undergrad in finance. We force undergraduates to take plenty of entry-level classes, but where's the one on practical financial responsibility? How about a test on setting a budget? My concern extends to my classmates on the less quantitative side of campus, but even as a finance major, I could benefit from this sort of education. My coursework deals with hypothetical $100 million bond issues, but this doesn't help me figure out how to negotiate my credit limit or how much of my income I should be comfortable spending on rent. Ashton Davis at Texas Tech University, law student. True inclusion isn't skin deep. My law school constantly preaches the importance of inclusion, tolerance, and acceptance. I don't disagree. These are fundamental to any healthy professional environment. But there's an undeniable irony in watching some administrators, professors, and students promote physical diversity while bashing any opinion that departs from orthodoxy. If universities don't welcome other points of view, their diversity will remain artificial and shallow. Oh, boy. And you'll have to endure 2-hour lectures about alleged Nazi fat-phobic science. Whew.
Bet she's a real looker. I'm shaming her.
Well, I mean, it's sad what's happened to liberal arts education and, by extension, what's happened to higher education. And this brings us to our piece, the City Journal, Inside the Academic Destruction of the University of Tulsa. It's sort of a case study, a detailed case study of what's happening, I think, on a lot of college campuses that we tackle anecdotally. But it's great to get an insider's look. And to help us do that, we're pleased to be joined by Jacob Howland, who is the McFarland Professor of Philosophy, past chair of the Philosophy Department and Religion, the Philosophy and Religion Department at the University of Tulsa, where he teaches the honors program. Professor Howland, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on.
So I maybe start at the end of your piece that I read at City Journal, and then you walk us back to how you got here. You talk about Tulsa. The Golden Hurricane, by the way, one of the dozen schools with a nickname that doesn't end in S. A little trivia there for you. You write, TU governors don't understand what a university is, a precious cultural institution whose essential task is the preservation, cultivation, and transmission of knowledge. What you say Tulsa has experienced is a hostile takeover that has made the university a subsidiary of the region's biggest charitable foundation, an agent of the city's corporate interests. Our infantilized and indoctrinated students will receive but a light wash of liberal arts before they're popped from the higher education oven. They will be credentialed, but they will not be educated. So how, over your time in Tulsa, at Tulsa University, did it go from a college that aspired to be in the top 50 in terms of liberal arts education to what you describe it at the end of your piece to be?
Well, I mean, we got a new president about 3 years ago, and we got a new provost a year ago. We have a board of trustees, none of whom has any background in education. They're composed of essentially business leaders. There are very close connections with major corporate interests in Tulsa. For example, the Bank of Oklahoma, which is the trustee of the endowment of our university. A number of members, chief executives and so forth on the Bank of Oklahoma are trustees of our university. Our president is on the Bank of Oklahoma board. You know, he gets about $30,000 a year from that service.
Oh, nice.
The Bank of Oklahoma is owned, 60% of it's owned by George Kaiser, who's also has an $8 billion foundation called the George Kaiser Family Foundation. The provost's husband is the chief executive officer of the George Kaiser Family Foundation, and the foundation's president is the president of the board of trustees. So when I discovered this kind of corporate nexus, I realized that something was going on. Unfortunately, I can't get to the bottom of exactly what sort of deals have been made, but I can say this. President Clancy of TU was chair of the Tulsa Regional Metro Chamber of Commerce in 2011. And at that time, he insisted that we needed to prepare students to take jobs immediately upon graduation from our colleges in the Tulsa economy. And it looks to me like some kind of deal has been forged at the highest levels to turn our school into essentially a kind of vocational, technical university that's going to focus on producing students who are ready for jobs in the Tulsa economy. But what that has involved is eliminating, essentially destroying the liberal arts on our campus.
And how has it done that? Explain.
Well, it's done that. I mean, they set up a program review committee, the Provost's program review committee, that supposedly analyzed academic and financial data. We were told the process would be transparent, inclusive, and data-driven. It was none of these things. All the members signed non-disclosure agreements. By the way, they also all had to read a book by a guy named W.F. Massey, I think. It's called Re-Engineering the University. And one of the things he said in his book is that, quote, the root problem at universities is a deeply held commitment to traditional concepts and values. What this committee sprung on us on April 11th was the elimination of theater, art, dance, philosophy, religion, which is my department, languages. They got rid of French, German, Latin, Greek, Chinese, Russian, biology, chemistry, physics, geology, geosciences. The list goes on. They got rid of 40% of the academic programs at the University of Tulsa.
Yeah, but so as Marco Rubio famously inveighed, we need more welders and less philosophers. Colleges need to start being more utilitarian about preparing students for preparing students for the private sector, preparing students to work and make money, rather than focusing on airy considerations of Nietzsche. What's wrong with that approach?
Well, first let me say I'm a big supporter of VOTEC education, technical skills. We need nurses, we need computer scientists, etc. But one of the programs that was, which is really the heart and soul of liberal education at the University of Tulsa, is our honors program. And in this honors program, we teach the Federalist Papers. We teach John Stuart Mill on liberty. We teach the speeches of Lincoln. We also teach the stuff that they read, right? So here's Lincoln. Why is he a great orator? Why is he a great thinker? He didn't go to university, but he read the Bible. Mm-hmm. He read Shakespeare. He read the ancient Greeks, Alexander Hamilton, poor guy, best Secretary of the Treasury we've ever had, grows up poor on a Caribbean island of Nevis. got a couple of books. One is Livy's History of the Roman Republic.
Oh, yeah.
One is Plutarch's Lives, you know. And so when people ask me this question, actually I have two answers. One is, do you think today we might benefit from having an Alexander Hamilton or a Thomas Jefferson or an Abraham Lincoln? And how did they become the great thinkers with their comprehensive vision? Well, they got a traditional education. My second point I want to make is this. This has happened at a lot of schools, okay? This kind of, because there are actually consultants going around saying, get rid of the liberal arts, focus on this job training stuff and so forth. It's never happened until now. At a major university, major research university, we were ranked in the 70s in the major research universities in the United States. The list that starts with Harvard and Yale and stuff like this, okay? We have a $1.1 billion endowment. Now, they've been claiming out of both sides of their mouths, oh, this is financial exigency. We need to do this to survive because we're going to have fewer students and the higher education bubble is deflating, which it is. On the other hand, they've also been saying our situation is very strong. We have a $1.1 billion endowment. The guys at City Journal asked me, how is it that they have to cut these small programs, you know, with this endowment? My brother is an economist at Wabash College. He looked at the numbers, and he said, you guys are running operating deficits, sure, but your net assets are outstanding. You do not have financial trouble. So my point is, you know, students want to get degrees in health sciences, exercise science, you know, nursing, things like this, which is we're really focusing on that. Go to Northeastern State University in Oklahoma, tuition like $6,000. Go to Oklahoma State or OU University. That's maybe $10,000, okay, for in-state students. We're charging $41,698.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I wanted to get to is sort of the fraud that's being run on the students, too. If you want VOTEC, fine, but you don't have to pay $41,000 a year to get it.
And furthermore, if you go to OU, which is a major university, you know, they've got all the programs that we've cut, and they've got everything. They got more. So, you know, and actually, students here, I mean, we were told by the provost and the president, hey, these programs, only 6% of the students major in these subjects. But we've had an incredible outpouring of students. You know, there's a Facebook group opposing this with 1.6 thousand members. And I can't tell you how many engineering students have gotten up and said, I minored in music. I minored in theater. I majored in philosophy along with my computer science degree. And by the way, we also have a petition, if your listeners are interested, on change.org. It's got 5,000 signatures now. But the administration's not budging, right? And incidentally, they bought this plan off the shelf. I got an email from a guy at McDaniel College in Maryland, and he says, we read your true commitment, which is the name of this restructuring. We read the document. You guys plagiarized from us because word for word it's the same thing.
Cookie cutter. Cookie, because
yeah,
one of the points you make too, and this is sort of the same point that I make about K through 12 education all the time, particularly in Chicago, is the whole system. It's not set up for the students; it's set up for the adults in the system, the teachers, the administrators, the bureaucracy. And you make that point about Tulsa.
That's exactly right. And I have to tell you, you know, they talk about transparency. The data is totally opaque. Okay, so we can't tell even from the audits. You know, and I've read the yearly audits and so forth. We can't tell how much they spend on administration. I can tell you the following numbers. 2017 to 2018, they spent $91 million in change on the academic side. Okay, that's obvious from the audit. Everything else is $113 million. How much is administration? Not broken out. How much is athletics? Not broken out. I can tell you, however, that another part of the audit does indicate that the athletics program lost almost $15 million last year.
Ever since Bill Self left. Jacob Howland, McFarland Professor of Philosophy, past chair of the Department of Philosophy and Religion at the University of Tulsa. His piece on the University of Tulsa, which is really illuminating, as you heard him talk about, this is happening at universities around the country, so it could be one coming to a student near you, like a kid in your household. Inside the Academic Destruction of the University of Tulsa at city-journal.org. Check it out. Jacob, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for giving me a voice.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
This is the morning show more Chicago radio listeners are choosing. This is Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.
Hi, Barry Sterner, owner of Townstone Financial. I could talk to you all day about how I feel about Townstone's service, low closing costs, and great rates. But how about listening to one of our customers?
My name's Elisa French. We've had such good experience with Townstone Financial and specifically Barry Sterner that when my mom was looking to move to Chicago, the first thing I said to her was, she had to call Townstone and got in touch with Barry Sterner, which again, amazing relationship. My sisters, when I am able to ask a question, and I have many questions when it comes to this, he really almost holds my hand with his knowledge and explains in such an easy way, and it makes me feel comfortable. So it's easy for me to recommend him.
Remember, nobody values your business more than Townstone Financial, and I'm always available to answer your questions. Call me now, Barry Sterner, 312-896-2111. That's 312-896-2111. Or go to townstone.com. That's TOWNSTONE.com.
Townstone Financial is licensed in Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, Florida. NMLS 136639. www.nmlsconsumeraccess.org. Equal housing lender.
Hey, another school year's about to wrap up, and you need to start thinking about activities your son or daughter will be involved with during summer break. You want them to have fun, but at the same time, we all know that they need structure. Introduce them to St. John's Northwestern Experience in the beautiful Lake County region of Wisconsin near Milwaukee with their summer OPS, Opportunities for Personal Success. 5 intensive weeks of learning and training young men and women, grades 7 through 12, get an opportunity to advance academically in a structured environment and at the same time be involved in an exciting summer adventure camp that inspires personal growth through a commitment to excellence in academics, leadership, spiritual, and character development. I'm familiar with this because I sent Peyton and Eli there for a week last year, and they loved it. Camp St. John's Northwestern for your son or daughter with full boarding or day camp programs. To get more information and to get your son or daughter some structure for the summer, call 800-SJ-CADET. That's 800-SJ-CADET. Or go online to sjnma.org. That's sjnma.org.
The kids grew up so fast. Hard to believe it's been over 20 years since you were playing catch in the backyard or showing your youngest around the kitchen. Lots of memories in this house. But maybe it's time to make new memories in a house that's more suited to your current lifestyle. McNaughton Development brings all the quality, style, and upscale details you love in your current home in a custom home that better suits your present needs. You don't have to scale down and sacrifice everything you love in the home where your kids grew up. With McNaughton, you get the highest quality custom residential construction with exclusive amenities. Right now, McNaughton is building Lakeside Point of Burr Ridge. It's a community with 44 home sites in the heart of the Burr Ridge Village Center, featuring 7 refined ranch and first-floor master 2-story floor plans. You can walk to the finest restaurants and shops in Burr Ridge and enjoy maintenance-free living in a park setting with natural lake. Visit them online, luxuryemptynester.com, to learn more about Lakeside Point of Burr Ridge and their other suburban communities. luxuryemptynester.com.
You know what? I did it. I started taking Balance of Nature about 3 weeks ago, and I've noticed a difference, a little more energy, less pain in my joints. There's not swelling there either. It's been wonderful because it's 10 servings of 31 different fruits and veggies, all in a single capsule. None of us eat enough fruits and vegetables on our own, admit it. So that's why Balance of Nature is so great. It's easy and healthy. Dr. Douglas Hauer, founder of Balance of Nature, he's been in the studio. I've met him a few times. He's showed me emails, played voicemails for me of real people who are living healthier and happier lives because of Balance of Nature, and that can be you. And right now you can lock in your price for fruits and vegetables today and get free shipping on every order. If you lock in now, you won't have to pay more when the cost of produce starts to rise later this year. So call today, 800-246-8751. That's 800-246-8751, or go to balanceofnature.com. Promo code Chicago.
AM 560. The
Answer. Coming up on Chicago's Morning Answer.
We're going to talk to a senior research fellow at the American Institute for Economic Research about climate activism and ideology in search of a justification at 8:38.
And no Daisy Dukes or dresses that are up to your behind for some parents at a Houston high school. But first, here's Mike Scott.
Sunshine and 54 degrees. We're following developments in Ruston, Louisiana this morning. 2 are dead there. after a tornado touchdown this morning. Ruston is about 70 miles east of Shreveport and is home to Louisiana Tech University. We're hearing reports from the Louisiana governor's office this morning that the university suffered major damage to campus housing, apartments. Classes have been canceled at Louisiana Tech today. Governor John Bel Edwards says the threat is not over. More severe weather is set to move into the Gulf Coast today. Joe Biden officially, finally, running for president.
Chris Coons is the first person out of the gate with an endorsement. The Democratic senator says we are at a crucial moment in our history. We need leaders who will bring us together instead of tearing us apart.
Reporter Mike Mamoli says he's hoping to secure the Democrat nomination, but that race now has 20 in it. The former VP made his long-rumored announcement this morning with a campaign video. The president is welcoming Joe Biden to the 2020 race, calling him Sleepy Joe. There's a detention hearing today for a U.S. Coast Guard officer accused of planning a terror attack on politicians and journalists. A federal judge will decide soon whether Lieutenant Christopher Hassan of Maryland should stay in jail. Lake County Sheriff's Office continues to warn residents this morning about a hazardous materials spill in Beach Park. It was an anhydrous ammonia spill that happened early this morning in the area of Green Bay Road and 29th Street. The parents of a missing 5-year-old boy in the northwest suburbs are being charged with his death.
Both Joanne and Andrew Sr. provided information that ultimately led to the recovery, what we believe is the recovery of deceased subject AJ.
Joanne Cunningham and Andrew Friend Sr. are both being charged with first-degree murder, aggravated battery, and other charges. R. Kelly on the losing side of a civil lawsuit accusing him of sexually abusing a woman when she was a minor in the late 90s. The woman won a default judgment against the singer after he and his attorneys failed to respond to the lawsuit. Cubs closer Pedro Strop coming off an eventful day, telling ESPN his car was stolen before their home game yesterday against the Dodgers and was later involved in a police chase. Strop had to cut short interviews with police discussing the incident in the fourth inning last night because he was being called on to pitch. Javi Baez and Jason Hayward with 3-run home runs. Cubs beat the Dodgers 7-6 at Wrigley. Orioles edged the White Sox 4-3 in Baltimore. The Bears will likely sit out round 1 of the NFL draft tonight in Nashville. The Bears will pick first this draft in the 3rd round. The news service of the DEA Takeback Day, DEATakeback.com. Prescription drugs could end up misused or stolen. Keep them safe, clean them out, take them back at DEA's National Prescription Drug Takeback Day, Saturday, April 27th. Find a collection site at DEATakeback.com. 8:33, a check of traffic and weather on the way next on AM 560.
Mike Gallagher is not the biggest fan of social media.
I don't want to do Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. I'm sorry. People spend more time apologizing and taking stuff down and getting blasted. I hate it. That's why I only post animal videos. I only post cute puppy pictures and videos on Twitter. I ain't doing it.
The Mike Gallagher Show. Weekdays at 9, right before Dennis Prager at 11 on AM 560. The Answer.
For more than 50 years, Mueller CPA, a certified public accounting and business advisory firm, has been serving clients in Chicagoland. Dave Nissen, Mueller's managing partner, is here to explain Mueller CPA's history, journey, and opportunity.
Thanks, Dan. Our firm was started by Al Mueller as a one-person CPA firm in 1968. Through growth and partnerships, Mueller CPA has blossomed from a regional firm to an organization that provides services worldwide. Mueller is a reflection of our years of listening and caring for our clients, and we would not be here today if it wasn't for our professionals and support personnel. We value the human side of our business and recognize it as being the most important element of our success. We are growing, we are hiring, and we welcome your interest in our firm.
If you are looking for your first opportunity or your forever career, join an award-winning team that cares about you. Visit the career page at MuellerCPA.com or call Dave directly at 630-524-5274.
Are your windows needy?
Call Crumweedy.
Hi, it's Mike Gallagher. If you need windows, call the exterior experts, Crumweedy. Mark Olson and Greg Olson of Crumweedy run a third-generation family business that's been doing Chicagoland exteriors since 1953. For them, it's all about trust. They truly share your values. Why windows from Crumweedy? Crumweedy windows are not offered anywhere else in Chicagoland. They're exclusive. That's why they can offer a lifetime material and labor installation guarantee. Lifetime! That's a great investment for your home. Windows from Crumweedy are Energy Star rated, unlike most other windows. Also, the vinyl windows are 100% virgin vinyl. You're getting quality. Windows with a lifetime material and labor installation. If your windows are needy,
Call Crumweedy.
630-595-8020. That's 630-595-8020. Just remember this, windowsareneedy.com. Windowsareneedy.com.
Check out Ground Game, the latest podcast from the Associated Press discussing the top political issues around the country. Available on Apple Podcasts.
It is 8:36. Let's check the roads in the AM 560 traffic center with Jim.
In Beach Park and Wadsworth, many major roads remain closed after a crash and ammonia spill in the area of Green Bay Road and 29th Street. Stretches of Green Bay Road and Wadsworth Road remain blocked. Southbound Tri-State is just a mess. Delays 21 to Bradley, 22 to Lake Cook after a crash. It's jammed 75th to 87th and then 95th to Southwest Highway, where an earlier wreck still has the right lane closed. The northbound delays are Cicero to Southwest Highway and from the Stevenson to North Avenue. Kennedy an hour, O'Hare to downtown, 38 minutes from Montrose, 21 on the Express. Dyke an hour and 10 minutes, 390 to downtown, 52 minutes from Manheim. Stevenson an hour and 2 minutes, 355 to the Drive. Ryan 42 minutes from 95th. It's traffic. I'm Chip Telemonte on AM 560 The Answer.
Chicago's Morning Answer continues next. Your official Chicagoland weather forecast from the 1 Hour Heating and Air Conditioning Weather Center. Sun this morning, sun and clouds this afternoon, a high near 70. Currently 54 at O'Hare. Next news coming up at 9. And Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan and Amy continues next on AM 560 The Answer.
This hourly segment is brought to you by Financial Planning with Jack Taboda, your 401k rollover specialist. Heard Saturday mornings at 7 on AM 560 The Answer.
If you're looking for the latest news, insight into what it means, and the sharpest opinion, there's only one station in Chicago where you can turn, and it's this one. We're AM 560, The Answer.
Top of the morning, Dan and Amy. As we know and discussed many a time on this program, radical environmentalism is not about science, and it's not about the planet. It's an ideology in search of power. But it is worth taking the time to try to provide some tutorials for people to help them better understand how the energy economy actually works, so you don't get wooed by the utopian pablum of an AOC, for example. And City Journal from the Manhattan Institute put together a little 8-minute video narrated by our friend John Stossel on this this week where we celebrate Earth Day. However,
don't we celebrate it all month now?
To get people interested enough to even pay attention. Earth Hour, Earth Day, Earth Week, Earth Month, Earth Year. AOC's GND is junk science and junk economics. Stossel talking to Mark Mills and others at Mark Mills from the Manhattan Institute and others about just sort of basics here to inform your economic understanding.
You're talking about zero carbon emissions, no use of fossil fuels.
That is the goal.
That's a goal you could only imagine possible if you have no idea how the energy economy works or how energy is produced in this country.
James Meigs, former editor of Popular Mechanics, says the Green New Deal is just not feasible.
Renewable is especially hard because it's so inconsistent.
Because the wind doesn't always blow and the sun doesn't always shine.
You can't just put in wind turbines and solar panels. You also have to build all this infrastructure to connect them with energy consumers, possibly very far away. And you always need some kind of backup power.
For more on this topic, we're pleased to be joined by Philip Magness. He is a senior research fellow at the American Institute for Economic Research and the author of numerous works on economic history, taxation, education policy in the United States, and the like. Philip, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
So we've been treated to a lot in this space this week because of these manufactured Memorial Days like Earth Day. AOC's GND, and now at the local level, you have aspirants for national political office like New York City Mayor Bill de Blasio, taking her theory and trying to apply it locally, for example, banning glass and steel skyscrapers as de Blasio proposed this week.
Yeah.
So just in terms of where you think this goes, what the response should be to all of those Democrat presidential candidates, as well as those who might be like a de Blasio, who have signed on in some form or fashion to the AOC fairy tale about green energy.
Right. So the critique I would make of this type of policy in general is it's basically an ideology in search of a justification. And we see this carrying out historically, that if you go back 100 years, environmentalists more or less had the same policy solutions, but they're prescribing them to almost exactly opposite conditions in the world that they faced at the time. So big example is mid-century, they came up with this idea known as peak oil, and the premise is that fossil fuel is a finite resource in the world that's going to deplete over time. Eventually, we don't know exactly how much oil we have left in the planet, but the idea was that once it depletes, once it hits a kind of a point of no return, you'll have a decline in oil production, and therefore it initiates a worldwide economic energy crisis because there's no more oil to basically fuel the modern economy. So the prescriptions that they came up with were all of the same things that we hear about today. We need to subsidize alternative fuel sources. We need to regulate oil to restrict its use. We need taxation to deter people from having cars that are not fuel efficient, things like that. So it's all these same policies that are very familiar, but they're argued from almost the exact opposite perspective. It's to prevent this depletion event that they thought was imminent. And it turns out, here we are 60, 70 years later, the depletion has not occurred, even though they were all predicting it would take place around the early 2000s. So the depletion has not occurred. And in fact, oil extraction and oil efficiency technology have improved to the point that we vastly extended the ability of this resource to last us many, many decades into the future. But their policies haven't changed. Now they're saying that we have too much oil and we have to keep it in the ground because of climate change. So they offer this argument called carbon sequestration, which is to intentionally prevent people from using oil and other fossil fuel sources for their energy base, but they come back to the same policies. We need to regulate it out of existence. We need taxation now on carbon. We need subsidies for wind and solar. So it's just this recurring cycle of the same policies offered for very, very different events.
Well, I wanted to ask you.
That it's more.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh, I want to ask you about alternative energy and wind and solar energy. Do they really do what they're claiming to generate? I mean, is it actually working? Because they're ruining our tapestry. You can drive anywhere, whether it's in California or on I-55 in Illinois, and these wind farms are popping up everywhere.
Yeah, and they're absolutely hideous to see.
Awful.
So there is kind of that social downside of these giant towers scattered across the plains or scattered across our mountains. But the interesting thing on wind and solar is their output is a tiny, minuscule portion of the energy production of our economy. I mean, I've seen estimates, they say that it's 1 to 2% of energy comes from these two sources, and yet we're dumping all sorts of public resources into it to kind of subsidize it and prop it up and supposedly make it cheaper compared to all these other alternatives. And the interesting thing of these public resources, when they're expended on solar and when they're expended on wind, the companies that are invested in solar and wind become stakeholders in the political game. And what do? They turn around and they lobby for more and more and more subsidies.
In your piece on the topic, you make a parallel argument to the minimum wage debate. What's that parallel?
Right. So if you go back to the 1930s, when the minimum wage really starts to pop into the policy scene, when it's put forth as part of the New Deal, one of the things that was argued as a justification in favor of it, and this is from a very different time socially, there's racial prejudice all around, but they tried to sell it to segregated white labor unions, saying that, hey, we'll raise your wages, and in doing so, we'll price black competition out of the labor market. So it's this discriminatory policy, and we know this economically from the laws of supply and demand. If you raise wages and do it through the force of law, you basically create a labor surplus relative to what companies are willing to employ. And the first people that would get cut out of that surplus are effectively, minorities, mostly immigrants and African Americans. When they were targeting this, and they said they pitched this to the white labor unions and said, "Look, we've got your back. We're going to ensure that all the work goes to you in the middle of the Depression, and not the African Americans, not these other immigrants and other populations that are kind of looked down upon by society and discriminated against." So they argued in favor of the minimum wage, and actually passed it and justified it in some states on those grounds explicitly. There's been studies that have connected it to racism very deeply by going back to the original documents, and they're out and out arguing for kind of this white supremacist case for the minimum wage. Well, the interesting thing is, here we are 70, 80 years later, and the progressives, the labor interest, are still arguing for the minimum wage, but they've inverted their rationale. Now they're saying that it helps minorities and it helps workers on the lowest end. So it's the same policy, but they've just switched the language. They just switched the argument. And this is all coming out in contrast with we're getting really good empirical evidence in the last few years that minimum wages have a disemployment effect upon people that are at the margins of the workforce, so like fast food workers, teenagers that are at their first job, people that are in low-skilled and unskilled trades.
Yeah, I mean, it's fascinating. It's such a great point about the genesis of the minimum wage idea. The basis for it was never about good economics, just like AOC's GND isn't about good economics or good science. Right. It's always a power play. And they can rewrite the genesis of their ideas, what was the basis for them, while they're rewriting history as it pertains to Kate Smith's musical compilations. It's just remarkable. It really is. Philip Magnus, he's a senior research fellow at the American Institute for Economic Research. His piece to check out at their website, Climate Activism, an Ideology in Search of a Justification. Philip, thanks so much for joining us. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And he joined us on our turnkey.pro answer line.
Listen to Dan and Amy on your smartphone. Download the AM 560 mobile app today at 560theanswer.com/mobile.
This is Dr. Howard, founder and formulator of Balance of Nature. We're changing America one life at a time.
I went to the doctor yesterday, and she said that I'll probably live to be 100 years old. My heart sounded good. Everything sounded good. My blood pressure, it has not been that low in a long, long time. With these capsules, I'm getting the vegetables and the fruit that I need. I know my husband has seen a difference in the way I am.
As you know, the price of produce is always on the rise. Have the confidence to know you're getting the best possible price for organically grown whole fruits and vegetables with Balance of Nature. Call now to see how you can lock in your price of fruits and vegetables and get free shipping on every order. Call 800-246-8751. That's 1-800-246-8751. Or go to balanceofnature.com and use discount code CHICAGO.
Hey, you don't want to buy a new expensive mattress, do you? Well, if you need a new mattress but don't want to fork over the cash, then you should get yourself a MyPillow mattress topper. It's a lot less expensive, and it will revitalize your mattress. I have one, and all the kids have one, and we love it. It's that good, and you'll get the best sleep of your life. And if you order now, you'll get 30% off that MyPillow mattress topper, plus 2 free standard MyPillows. This exclusive 3-layer design includes a MyPillow foam for support, transitional foam to help relieve those pressure points, and an ultra-soft, patented temperature-regulating cover that's washable and dryable, plus Mike Lindell's 60-day money-back guarantee. Do it now. Go to MyPillow.com, promo code Amy. You'll get, again, a MyPillow mattress topper plus 2 standard MyPillows absolutely free and 30% off. What's not to love? MyPillow.com, promo code Amy.
In a few years, every home will have solar panels. Why? Technology has progressed to make it reliable and sustainable. Solar saves you money. It's true. In a few years, every home and business will be supplementing their electricity with solar. But here's the deal. In a few years, is anyone going to help you pay for it? They do now. Go to IllinoisSolarRebates.com, home of Dominion Solar. Right now, you can get solar for your home or business and have 50 to 75% of the cost paid for. That's big. Dominion is Chicagoland's local solar company. Local. That matters. Contact them now and set up a free assessment. How much can solar put back in your pocket? Many cut their electric bill in half. You can even watch your savings in real time. If you're in Illinois, you can get solar and have 50 to 75% of the cost paid for. It's not a loan, it's free money. Dominion Solar. Remember this. Go to IllinoisSolarRebates.com. IllinoisSolarRebates.com.
The school year is rapidly coming to an end, and maybe you're looking back at this past year and you aren't too happy with your child's school experience. Well, now's the perfect time to start thinking about doing something different this fall. Don't send your child back to a school that you just aren't happy with. Start thinking about sending your child to a private school at half the regular price, thanks to halfpriceschools.com. At halfpriceschools.com, you can find local private schools from across Chicagoland that are offering vouchers for a full year of tuition at half the price with no catch. Find a school near you, purchase the tuition voucher, and prepare to send your child off to school this fall. It's that simple. Halfpriceschools.com has schools located across Chicagoland, including schools in Schaumburg Christian School, Westminster Christian School in Elgin, Kingswood Academy in Darien, Midwestern Christian Academy in Chicago, Covenant Christian School in Aurora, Christian Liberty Academy in Arlington Heights, and Calvin Christian School in South Holland. Make private school affordable for your family for the first time this year. These vouchers will sell out, so visit halfpriceschools.com today. That's halfpriceschools.com.
Our freedom and security are made possible through the service and sacrifice of our military and first responders. The Gary Sinise Foundation provides many outreach programs supporting these brave men and women. Join us. Donate at GarySiniseFoundation.org.
Signature Bank is Chicago's fastest-growing independently owned business bank. It's a bank where relationships still matter. Signature Bank knows your name and your story. I'm Dan Proft, and I know this because Signature Bank is my business bank.
I'm Bob Aument, a founding partner of the law firm of Dassman & Aument and longtime personal customer of Signature Bank. Our firm recently left one of the larger banks to bank with Signature Bank, and it's been a refreshing change. With Signature Bank, we've been able to tailor banking solutions that fit the specific needs of our firm. Beyond that, Signature Bank is responsive, efficient, and timely in meeting those needs. If I have a request, I pick up the phone and talk to Mick O'Rourke, not someone at a phone bank thousands of miles away. Dassman & Aument needed more than what the larger banks offer, and we found that with Signature Bank.
Signature Bank is looking for their next success story. To learn more about turning your business vision into reality, visit signaturebank.bank. Signature Bank, helping local businesses succeed. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hi, this is Amy Jacobson. Spring is the perfect time to take notice of any paint issues. Call the professionals at CertaPro Painters right away to take care of your home. Our front porch and back porches were chipping and peeling, just an eyesore. But CertaPro Painters swooped in and made a huge difference. They also painted a majority of our rooms in our house, the quality, service, and attention to detail like no other paint company. You know, spring is the season of change. Time to change your wall color or exterior and transform your home with an updated new look. And if you want some help with colors, they've got you covered with in-home color consultation or online with a color visualizer. Don't put it off. Time to hire CertaPro Painters, your residential and commercial painting expert. Schedule a free estimate online at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with a C, or call 1-800-GO-CERTA. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. CertaPro Painters, we do painting, you do life.
AM 560, The Answer.
It's time for Dan Proft's parenting tips. Whoa, Dan Proft's parenting tips. Whoa, tell your kids to shut up and listen to him.
You're a child. Houston High School bans pajamas and leggings for parents. There's a new dress code at a Houston High School for parents, James Madison High School in Houston. And
Dan, it's more than just leggings and pajamas. It's hair rollers, skull caps, satin caps, or bonnets. You cannot have a
Where's
Daisy
a bonnet anymore?
I don't know, Daisy Dukes and lowrider shorts will not be permitted. And they actually wrote Daisy Dukes. Dresses that are up to your behind will not be permitted on the premises or in the building, or any attire that is totally unacceptable for the school setting. They went on to talk about leggings, sagging pants, ripped jeans. It went on and on.
312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 646-360, turnkey.pro text line. If they're having a problem with parents are showing up in, let's just say, disheveled fashion, what do you think about the high school imposing a dress code on its taxpayer-funded premises for the adults? No undershirts or sagging pants for the men, and you heard all the limitations for the women. What do you think?
No slippers, too, by the way. Well, parents aren't happy at the school.
We're an adult, and we are tax-paying adults, and we shouldn't be told what to and what not to wear. We're not the students. We are the parents.
And this whole dress code came to the attention of a local TV station down there in Houston because a woman tried to enter the school to enroll her daughter at Madison High School, but she was wearing a T-shirt, dress, and a headscarf, and they told her, we have a dress code. And that's when they released this, long, lengthy, what you can and cannot wear to school. But I love it because if the parents dress like that, then the kids are going to dress like that. And the kids are like, oh, no, no one's wearing bathing suits around here.
Nobody come up in here in bathing suits. They don't come in here with their body out, you feel me?
I mean, I know your fictitious children, when you drop them off or go to the school, what do you normally wear?
Some data on the high school. Math proficiency, 51%. Reading proficiency, 41%. Graduation rate, only 73%. It's in the bottom half of Texas high schools, this Madison High School in Houston, with enrollment declining. I don't know. It's also, there's a racial component to this. It's looks like it's 52% Hispanic, 13% black, and 29% white, but the African-American parents think that it's racially motivated.
Right. They're saying that that's, a problem and that you're not letting me in because I have rollers in my hair, and since I have different type of hair, I need to have rollers on with a scarf over it. No, just your kids can't wear that to school, so you can't wear that to school. It's pretty simple. I mean, you should see what parents wear when they're dropping their kids off. I understand.
What do parents wear at Amundsen? Almond Brothers, whatever the hell it's called.
Well, Blaine. Or people, because it's early in the morning. The kids start at 8 o'clock, so some parents.
Oh yeah, that's real early. Crack of dawn.
Some parents work late at night, and so it's hard. So they, drop off their kids in pajamas. But normally, and I've done that too. I'm guilty of it. I've worn pajamas to drop my kids off. But you put on high boots and a long coat, so nobody knows you're wearing your pajamas. Okay, you got to hide it, ladies. Which but then some ladies dress up and they're going to work and they have very short skirts. So
I'm all for uniforms all the way around. Parents, children, everybody in a uniform. If you can't figure out how to dress appropriately, then we put a uniform on you.
I love it.
Kevin in Palatine. Kevin in Palatine, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
You better speak quickly.
Kevin in Palatine, you're no longer on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Oh, Kevin.
Nicholas on the Northwest Side.
Yeah, I agree, though. It seems like anybody can do anything they want and everything is okay. It's like people make their own standards, And by the way, you two guys have a great show.
Thanks
very much, Nicholas.
I mean, I recently was in San Mateo, California, and a guy was wearing and walking around with a sleeping bag and flip-flops. That's what he was wearing. That's okay, whatever anybody wants to do, anytime. Sleeping bags are now closed.
Well, okay. This is a school setting. It's a little bit different than public in general. Sean from Elmwood Park, 15 seconds.
I blame that magnificent genius who came up with the yoga pants, and I blame his wife who made him make them above a size 6. Don't buy them if you're above a size 6, fatty. You look ridiculous.
Thanks for the call, Sean.
Wow.
Apparently didn't hear our conversation about radical fat liberation earlier.
Thanks so much.